everybody. Welcome back to the Bingeworthy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Comstock, alongside my friends Caleb Campbell, Dustin Peed, and Johnny Burkholter. We're excited for episode 3, and we're going to have a good time today. If this is your first time with us, we're glad you're here. We'd love for you guys to subscribe, like, share, do all the things you do with it. Check us out on the Instagram. We're all over the place. We would love for you to check us out. We're having a good time today. So welcome, fellas. How was the weekend? What are you guys up to binging these days? Anybody watch a movie? Watch a movie today? Watch a show? Anybody?
I have a great one, but let's go in order.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I think
there was an order.
I think I can
I don't know if
speak.
there's an order. I don't know. I feel like it should be.
Well, I'm a
dealing
narcissist,
cards.
so
We're going
I'm
in
gonna
order.
first.
Yeah.
Respect the system.
It's to the
I like
left.
that
You
you
deal to the left.
You
The
have to
subtle
admit it.
drop.
Yeah,
I'm a
so
narcissist, so I'm going to go
narcissist.
first.
Deal to the
it's
left
fine.
technically means it should go to him.
Yeah.
What are we playing cards?
May
Or are
the
we
first-
on a
I
podcast?
love
What's happening?
starting with
May
Johnny
the,
B.
may the
I think it's
first
perfect.
May the first be last.
Yeah.
I think it's about
For those of you still listening,
It's fine.
If you haven't turned off, yes. Johnny, what you been watching?
less than a minute in.
Less than a minute. So I think I can speak for us all because of our group text, but I watched Vengeance finally.
so good.
We chatted about it
100%.
last episode, and I
100%.
mean, I just would love to talk about.
100%.
Number one, I'm walking around doing this thing here
Yeah.
all day.
So,
You got to watch
welcome,
Vengeance
Welcome to Texas.
Welcome
on
to Texas.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you know
And
why they
you'll
do
know.
that, yeah? Because it looks like the
Boom.
Because this looks like Texas.
looks like Texas.
But then
But
that's it.
I never realized, in all my years of living,
that was
I
really
did my
good.
hand like this. It looked like Texas.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody from Michigan does this.
Oh.
Or is it this or this?
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, what you said.
You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. No.
You know people from
I don't
Michigan?
know.
Handshakes?
People from Michigan always go, if you know someone from Michigan, you always ask, where in Michigan are you from? Because
they point.
Michigan
Oh.
is Michigan is like I did it too. Michigan is like I guess shape of a hand. I can't remember if it's this or this. Either
I
way.
don't- yeah, I'm
but then
really-
but then you just go. Then they point to it like that.
You shouldn't ask me. I learned
Which-
last week that Kansas is next to Missouri.
Missouri,
Yeah.
they hang
Yeah,
out.
you did. You did.
I,
learn that.
I went and looked at a map and I said, I think I've been living a lie my entire life. I had
Yeah.
no clue what our country looks like.
Yeah.
So we'll do an episode on that one day.
Small
Yeah, we
fact:
should.
I've seen people from Wisconsin do exactly what you just described because there's definitely a thumb on Wisconsin too. So maybe it fits both.
I think it's this is Michigan and this is Wisconsin.
You go
Or
thumb?
Wisconsin
you
slightly
get a little
out.
edgy. You bust the thumb out. You're
It's
from
edgy.
Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah, I
Slide
know
down
Ohio people always do the OH garbage. That's
IO?
annoying.
Yeah.
But that's not where they're from. That doesn't like tell
No,
you
it's just like a
geographically where they're at.
No, it's just a signifier like we're from there.
You can't see it because it's covered up, but I have a tattoo of my home state, Virginia, right here. So if you ask me where I'm from, I just be like, I'm right here.
Maybe one episode we'll do that. We'll do
I've
tattoo
got
episode.
Georgia on the back of my arm. Did you know
There it
that?
is.
yeah.
I didn't know
What?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a heart.
I don't know if you remember,
We're
but I've seen you
Atlanta.
shirtless.
Yeah, well, there you have it, folks.
All right. Well, this has been a great episode, guys.
See you next week.
It's not. It's nothing to look at.
When you stop, maturing
true.
after the age of
It
12.
looks like you're at the end of Thanksgiving when everybody's eating all the turkey and it's just bones left.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
That's what he looked like. Yeah.
You remember at the beginning of Thanksgiving when the turkey? How y'all doing?
There it is.
Come on, baby.
Come on.
Yeah.
now.
Come on,
on,
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Texas.
When it first
So-
comes out of the oven, looks like me.
So,
We're all done. Looks like him.
so Vengeance. Vengeance is great.
so good.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You got into Vengeance because of the John Mayer cameo right away. We're not
yeah.
spoiling anything. You
The
just
very
turn on
first,
the movie and it's
the
John
very
Mayer.
first scene is B.J. Novak and John Mayer playing himself.
Yeah,
And they're at a
100%.
rooftop party somewhere out in California. And they just keep saying the phrase 100% over and over and over again. But they're having a real conversation.
That's
but it's a
obnoxious.
very L.A.
Obnoxious.
conversation.
Yeah.
I've never
100%.
spent really any time at all in L.A., but I feel like I have with him.
Yeah.
LA vibes. Yeah.
I get LA vibes all the time. But
Lower Alabama.
That's
Lower
right,
Alabama.
baby.
That's what I
What
got.
up, what up?
Let's
Come on,
go.
somebody.
I didn't mean Los Angeles. I meant Lower.
So I made the mistake of you look at the genre, the whatever, it says comedy thriller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So my sons are over, and Luke's 18, Ben's 16, and all they want to watch is either a comedy or like a thriller, or they like scary movies. So I'm like, guys, this could
can't
be
beat
perfect
that.
for you.
Put
This could be
those
perfect for
hands
us.
together.
So I put it on and quickly realized like this teenagers didn't really appreciate anything about the movie. Like halfway through it, they look at me, they're like, Dad, like nobody's dead yet, nobody's getting chased with a knife. Like, what are we watching? And I was like, okay, we'll stop. We'll watch something done with Adam Sandler in it. You guys leave, and then I enjoyed the rest. And it was a great movie. Liked it a lot.
I loved it.
But you did eventually get all the way through Vengeance, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So you know there is blood.
Yes, they
It just
they
takes a little while.
They didn't
It takes a
quite
while.
make it that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
My favorite part is the Uber ride. That is my favorite part of the whole movie is when he gets in the
Oh, yeah.
when he
He
gets,
gets
in
in
the
the
go
ATV.
kart. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes,
go kart
that was
ATV,
great.
whatever it is. And he gets the phone call, and they're like, "Where you at right now?" He's like, I'm in an Uber."
I'm in an Uber.
And they're like, it's like go.
Well, he actually tries to get an actual Uber, and it's like he's so far out in the country at this point that his Uber is like 2.5 hours away.
It's a 2.5 hour wait.
It's like your driver will be there in 2.5 hours, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, well, dang, this isn't
good-
going to work.
It's a great movie.
So, yeah.
Can't
it out.
recommend it enough. BJ will be on a couple episodes. Good friend of the show.
Yep, friend of the pod.
Good friend of the
Good
pod.
friend of the pod.
Friend of the
So,
pod. My binge. I've been so excited to share this with y'all because it's a little
twist.
A little. Is it unconventional?
Okay.
Is that
Yeah,
the word?
yeah, that's
is it,
a word.
or is it
That is a word.
unconventional?
Unconventional is probably the word you're
I
looking
think it's unconventional for this podcast because we mostly talk about shows, movies, things like that we're binging.
for. You binged a book.
I didn't binge a book.
Oh, okay.
I do that, but I did not do that. This time I binged a podcast series.
Oh, okay.
It's a 10-part podcast series. Chris knows what I'm talking about. He listened to it as well from comedian Dusty Slay. It was recorded back in 2019.
Yeah.
And it's a 10-part series where he walks you through with great detail, as the higher-ups say, great detail.
Detail.
Right?
Detail.
All one word.
Absolutely.
He walks you through like how to become a comedian from never having done it before to being like world famous. And it's absolutely incredible. The detail. I love behind the scenes stuff. I love when an artist can tell me their process. Like I just love that. I love what goes into making the thing that you're known for. Every time I'm all in. And it is so detailed.
Yeah. I feel like as a narcissist, I could start on episode 5, right? And just kind of.
Yeah.
No,
I was thinking
kidding.
4,
I
but
was
go with it.
terrible.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's
Terrible
good.
with that.
Episode
It's
1 and
so
2 alone
good.
on developing content and like how to get how to cut your teeth. So good.
I love that.
Incredible.
Maybe want to be a
I
comedian,
listen.
honestly.
It's incredible. I mean,
Who knows?
it further confirms, Chris and I have said for years, that we study comedians to learn how to communicate.
Absolutely.
Because every little thing is so intentional. There is not a more intentional breed of human in the world than comedians.
We got to think they are literally paid for what they say on stage.
Yeah.
Like there's no other like a pastor, for example.
Yeah.
They get paid maybe for what they say on stage, but they're also
Did
their
you get
jobs
to that on this week's Nightland yet?
I did.
The pastor part?
Yeah. And it's great.
So good.
Because he talks about they're like I can't develop content every single
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. He's like, I might can do like 10 minutes a week.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, but it won't be good. He's like,
wouldn't
but
be
Baptist preachers, they have to do like at least 30 minutes of
30
fresh
to 40 minutes every week.
Shout out to the Baptist
Yeah,
preachers.
shout out to the Baptist preachers. But at the end of the day, their job is equally hinged upon like their ability to relate and communicate and like have relationships and like develop people and like lead staff. Whereas like a comedian's job, their ability to make money for their family is literally based on whether or not they can make you laugh.
How well can you talk?
Yeah.
How well can you speak the words that come out of your mouth?
Yeah.
And it
That's
is
insane.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
So,
it's an incredible series. It's
that's
called We're Having a Good Time
Having a
is the
Good
name
Time.
of his podcast.
Dusty Slay, Hannah
if you
Hogan.
know about Dusty Slay, that's his tagline. We're having a good time.
having a good time.
Which we'll get to that in a minute.
Texas.
Well, not Texas,
we'll get to that in a minute on recaps. We're doing
Yeah.
like a
What
weekly
we're up to.
recaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this: I haven't binged it yet because as of recording today, the latest season drops. But it's a show on Netflix called You. Have you guys watched You?
yeah.
So good. Today, part 1 of season 4 drops. I cannot wait to watch it. But it's essentially your main character is kind of he's the villain, really, but you're cheering for him. Like,
Yeah.
and so I love shows that can do that. Like, you're like, wait a second, if I really assess this situation, this guy, like this is not a good guy, but you're in his corner. Like, you empathize with this stalker, essentially, right? Who's like stalking these women who he's in love with, but he's so smart and he's so clever. And I mean, it's the dude from Gossip Girl, so he's like, like he's a looker, right? So he's got all the things, bro. This guy's a stud. He's smart, and you just want to be this guy. And then you're thinking, wait a second, this is a terrible human being, right?
That's
now.
that's like
I
The
wanna
Rock,
be
right?
him.
The Rock had that great heel turn where he became the bad guy, but
Yeah.
for some reason you were like, I love this dude.
I love The Rock.
It's
Can you
Walter,
smell what he's cooking?
Walter White from Breaking
It's
Bad.
Walter White,
it's
Breaking
Walter
Bad.
White.
Why should we be cheering for Walter? But
we
underwear,
are.
underwear and all to the bitter end.
It's
We were
Joaquin
cheering for
Phoenix
Walter
in The
White.
Joker.
It took me a while to get through Breaking Bad. I started
absolutely.
episode
Me too.
1 probably 5 times. I was like,
too.
I don't think I can get into this.
too.
To me, there's an episode. It's 5, 6, or 7 in season 1.
Yep.
When it turns,
Yeah.
and then it had me. It took us a while to get there, and then I was like, all right, just go.
Now you're in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I got to go back and finish Better Call Saul. Which is great.
I've got to catch the end of it. I've seen.
I'm caught up to what's available as far as I
Yeah.
know, unless the last season's available somewhere I don't know about.
I need Netflix to make that deal happen. Whoever
too.
needs to sign the dotted line, I need to
go.
know.
Yeah. We're having the
what
CEO of Netflix on in just a couple episodes. A big fan of
Yeah,
the
it's
pod.
big CEO.
Episode 5,
yeah.
Big
episode
fan.
6. It's one of them.
Yeah.
One of
oh.
those.
So I know I watched and binge the most of the.
Yeah.
You do.
Clearly.
You do.
You really
I
are a
just
lazy
pick
guy.
something.
2003. How's that going?
Since last time we chatted, I binged a lot of high school wrestling matches. It's kind of where we are at this point.
Is Zac
Via
Efron in
video
this?
or live?
You know, live, a couple videos. So my son's getting to the point where we got sectionals this weekend, state the next.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, so I have five kids. Some people say 15. It's actually 5, which is still a nice number. A lot.
large
It's a
number.
lot of
Like
kids.
Michigan. No, I'm kidding.
And it's tough, right? Because you have these seasons where one of the kid, it just seems like everything revolves around their schedule. Luke's a senior, his last year, so it's just been that way for us for a few weeks. So I didn't watch a whole lot outside of Vengeance, but I did hang out with a bunch of disgusting teenagers in Alabama gyms.
You're seeing a lot of this right here.
Oh,
A lot of that.
Alabama gyms.
A lot of that. Yeah. Yeah.
I
He's
feel
about,
like
he's
he's
the smell of a wrestling
it's good.
environment.
It's something.
It is potent.
So
I wrestled for a long time.
So
Yeah,
speaking
me
of potent,
too. If you can't tell.
my son has had the old cauliflower ear for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
And what happens is it can flare up.
Yep.
So he came to his match 2 days before senior night last week, and he's like, "Dad, it flared up again." And I mean, it was about the size of a golf ball. Okay.
Oh.
He couldn't get it trained because he had senior night come up. He didn't want to miss those matches. He shows up at senior night. It's like nearly the size of a baseball hanging off the side of his head, right? So he wrestles through the pain, gets to senior night, gets all that done, finishes his regular season at 49-3. Hashtag killing it, baby.
Hashtag.
So anyway, so
pretty
gets
good.
through it,
Rushing it.
great.
but then goes
49
to the
and 3 in
hospital.
anything is really good.
I'll send you the picture so we add it.
Yeah.
They drain the thing. They have to scalpel it open. Usually they use a syringe. They have to scalpel it open, put a drain in. He bandaged his head, and I told him, I was like, "You straight up look like a wounded Civil War soldier right
That's
now."
incredible.
I sent you a picture.
you
of
sent
it.
me a
Yeah, it was
picture.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So between binging wrestling
was
and
a
then hanging out in
reenactment
doctors'
photo.
offices,
Reenact-
yeah, that's what we've been doing in the great state of Alabama, guys.
Yeah, 49-3. That's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever got over 30 matches before state, so that's good.
You
good
weren't
for him.
wrestling in Alabama.
I was wrestling
Alabama.
in
Alabama.
To be
Fight for your
clear,
life in Alabama.
while I do enjoy
Come on, baby.
Alabama, I wrestle in Pennsylvania, which is a
which is
different
legit.
level.
Which is legit.
Different level of wrestling altogether.
Different
But we'll talk about wrestling in a different episode
I'm ready
down
for
the road.
that.
I love me a good wrestling
I
episode.
love it.
We're talking about
NWO
professional wrestling
for life.
Okay. Well,
Let's go.
first of all, I was a Triple H guy. I was a big fan. of that. So with that in mind,
From a ring. Can we do it live from a ring?
yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Find a guy to do that.
checking.
Yeah. I big fan of binging Reacher. I don't know if you guys seen it on Amazon Prime. Binge Reacher. That was epic.
Is this Jack Reacher?
It is well, yeah. So there's a Jack Reacher that's Tom Cruise.
Right.
I did
Same
watch
origin
that.
though. Same story.
Same story. Tom Clancy. I'm learning about myself. I love me a Tom Clancy.
Apparently loves
Love me Tom
chair,
Clancy.
man.
Shout out Tom.
The chair's going. You're
shout
going
out
down, man. Yeah, we'll get Tom on here as well. Big fan of the pod. And I enjoyed Reacher. It was surprisingly cheesy, but it was a good storyline. I enjoyed it. It was a good
love
time.
that.
So that's where I'm at. I don't want to go too much because we are just. I like to get a little behind the veil here. We are recording 2 today, so I had to save something else that I'm binging for the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm
that
going
way
to have
you
to binge something during our break.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
something
That's
else.
what I figured I would do is during
Just
the break.
binge
I'll
it
just
during
binge.
our lunch break,
Sure,
yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, today's episode is on road trips.
Wait, are we going to recap our week?
Oh yeah, that's right. We jumped right in. Thanks for keeping us on.
Yeah.
It's right here. Weekend recap. I gotta stay with the show notes, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bucket list. We had a bucket list. I don't know
did.
if it was your bucket list. It
come
was on
on,
my
baby.
bucket list.
Yeah, we had a good
experience.
time this weekend. Yeah, Dustin and I went to downtown Atlanta.
That's it. That was my bucket
Wow.
list.
I
I've
had-
never been downtown.
Killing
Atlanta.
it.
Yeah.
Little
We lit
5
20
points,
minutes in
baby.
there.
Come
I'm glad
on.
you guys finally
I
did
had
it.
my first
gosh.
experience.
Yes, how big it is.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about the fun thing. I had my first experience at Bar Taco,
Oh, bar taco.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Won't he do
which
it?
is unreal.
Yeah.
So good.
I had 6 tacos.
6?
I tried all of them, and then
be
I
I
fair.
recommend 4, but
Just to
Yeah.
be fair,
glad you-
they're
so
like
6.
they're not.
They're like
that-
street
small.
tacos.
They are
They're
small.
very very small.
They are
But
small.
I did 6 of them,
did
and then I did. I really fell in love with the chorizo one. I love that.
The chorizo one was
And
really
then I started out with some guac dip, which was great, and ended with some churros.
Churros,
which
with,
were
with the 2 dipping sauces.
fantastic.
Amazing.
Come on.
Fantastic. But then we decided to eat like savages, and then we went off to a show together.
Yeah, and then we
that.
went to go see Dusty Slay. All right,
Come on.
Right.
Oh,
Went to go
listen,
see Dusty Slay.
if
And
you're watching.
Dusty, so if you're a fan of the pod, it shouldn't take you long to know that like this whole thing is dedicated to Nateland. Like,
That's so good.
Everything about what we're doing right now. There's 4 of us, the logo, everything. It's pretty much we're just fans of Nateland, and we're trying to be like them.
It's like a tribute band.
It's a tribute band, exactly
Like,
right.
yeah.
That's what I was telling somebody earlier today. It's a tribute band.
Nobody told me this.
Which
I'm not a big tribute
which
band
is great
kinda
because
guy.
he's sitting in Brian's
He's
seat,
sitting in
and that's
Brian's seat.
exactly what
I
Brian
had
would
no
say.
idea.
All right, continue.
So yeah, no. Dusty Slay's on that podcast. He's been on the stand-ups, I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
on Netflix, which is a different 30-minute specials and stuff like that.
He did Last Comic Standing too, didn't he?
He did do Last Comic Standing, but he what I've listened to recently in his pod is that what he was a part of never got to air. Okay. But yeah, he's he's incredibly funny comedian. He's from Alabama. He lives in Nashville now with Nate and all those guys, and
like in the same city.
In the same city, yes.
They don't live in
the same house. They live in it's a hostel.
It's like Saved by the Bell, the college years, where Zach and Slater
just all together. Like I said, all hang out together.
Yeah, no, he was great, and I thought just because he's still kind of on the up and up, he's not quite Nate Bargatze level yet, where he's selling out arenas, which is what Nate's getting into now. Is he's selling out arenas, but Dusty is getting into the theater game, and he is selling out theaters, and he sold out this small theater, 1,000 seats, in Atlanta called Center Stage, and he went for 75 minutes.
Beautiful minutes, man.
75 minutes. And we found out like a couple days before, we had no idea who was going to open up for him, and Aaron
Weber like the grill.
Aaron Weber like the grill.
Yeah, not like the basketball player.
Not like the basketball player. Aaron Weber like the grill.
It's a terrible bit he tried on Nateland one time, and it bombed. And he said, I'm going to do this everywhere now.
It's my second time seeing Aaron. I saw him at a private event last year, and he's so much. He just attacks the stage so much more than what you think he would. And he was fantastic. He did 20 minutes, and then Dusty came out and did 75 minutes. I mean, on the dot. I looked at my phone. It was 7:40 when he came out. It was 9:05 when he finished. It was exactly 75 minutes. And again, we're talking about comedians and their ability to communicate. I mean, I know we do it every Sunday.
Wow.
Pastors never hit the mark.
We're always in the red,
Always in the red.
Worship guys just saying things people didn't want to hear. Why is this guy talking?
Well, we always wondered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah. I know you were watching wrestling all weekend.
Yeah, my weekend was wrestling. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's a good time.
A lot of wrestling.
There's going to be a counter on the bottom of this video of how many times I had to put this chair back.
Yeah,
I love it. We'll make it happen. Yeah.
We could just put it right here somewhere.
Put it on my face.
We'll do it.
So we're in that season of life where our kids are, they're younger. I wish I could have been at a sporting event for my kids, but they're in this season of life where they're getting invited to all their friends' birthday parties. And most of them are at like these really insane Chuck E. Cheese wannabe kind of places. This particular one was called Catch Air. Catch Air, if you're watching, I loathe you. No, I'm kidding. It's in theory, it should be fun, right? Let your kids go wild. You sit there. That's just one theory. It ends up being, like, hey, Dad, can you get in this? Go through this tunnel that your four sizes too big to go through. But I'm trying to be a good dad, so
you do
here I am doing it. But what was the best part? The highlight, and maybe I'll send this in for our viewers to see. But our 6-year-old daughter decided that this was the day. This day was the day she was going to reveal a special talent she has, and that talent was twerking. And so, just to paint just give the framework.
The video, and I was like, I can't watch this.
just to set the scene here. Great. They have this little area where it's like Baby Shark on repeat, essentially. Yeah. And so, but every like 30 minutes or so, the lights will dim, and it's like dance party, right? And so, all these little
what's it like, Johnny B?
Dance party. All these kids just run to the center. The lights go down, and it goes from traditional Baby Shark to Baby Shark remix.
Twerking Baby Shark.
So twerking Baby Shark.
Never heard of that.
And so my 6-year-old daughter.
Everywhere.
Some noxious tail
So
movement.
because of this, we are now canceling Disney Plus because I'm pretty sure that's where she learned how to twerk.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't know.
My 6-year-old son learned how to armpit fart the last week.
Oh, that's
so I don't know if you're in better shape or I don't know what this says about us.
That's just
as parents.
regular
What if you were twerking while
that's just regular YouTube?
Like,
we found that
like,
on.
Clearly they should be hanging out.
Like a combo
Clearly they
thing,
should be hanging out.
Armpit fart,
Yeah.
twerk.
Yeah.
Man,
Wow.
that would go viral. Somebody do that.
That feels like
Somebody
a
do
really
that.
gross
I ain't
moment.
doing it. You just did it.
That feels like a gross
Maybe I
moment.
will.
Wow.
Awkward silence. ensues.
Well, I'm into that. I don't know how we hard pivot from that to what we're talking about.
What are we talking about today, Chris?
We're talking about road trips.
Road trips. There it is.
Yeah, we spoiled it at the beginning. Sorry about that. Welcome back. If you tuned out for the weekend recap, we're here. We're glad you guys are here too. Road trips. I love a good road trip. Been on a few of them myself. So I'm interested to see what America does. How many road trips do you think are taking a year? How many people are driving these days?
I mean, I filled up my small car today, and it was over $50. So if you're driving, way to flex, balling out. But you know what though? What I've learned is people vacation doesn't necessarily take a back seat, pun intended.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People, that's like the last thing people give up. I mean, people are,
like a tagline to a really cheesy movie.
I did does. Vengeance Part 2.
Vacation
like it.
takes
Ashton
no
Kutcher, if you're
backseat.
watching, let's collab. Yeah. So, but what I'm discovering is people are still traveling, regardless, right? Of gas could be $5. People are going to go to Disneyland. It's just going to happen. So are we guessing a number?
Let's guess a number. How many miles a year do you think are driven?
Miles a year. I'm going to go with
In America.
4.
I don't know. Whatever Google was. I don't have an actual answer.
Oh, I have the answer.
4 billion miles.
whatever.
My 4 billion.
Challenge.
Come on. B.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was,
there's a lot of Americans.
4 billion with a B. Okay.
I was going to go trillion with a T.
Wow.
How many?
Okay.
A trillion?
I'll go 4 trillion.
4 trillion. I'm gonna go 400 million.
3.2 trillion.
Trillion.
Come with
Wow.
Right here.
it, baby. 3.2.
Billions.
Wow.
Billions.
A lot of weird high fives in this
Billions
one.
not
Yeah, it's
enough.
okay.
Yeah.
Billions not enough.
Do you want to be a trillionaire?
3.2
3.2
trillion
trillion.
miles.
Average American drives 13,500 miles a year. Is the way that math works.
Which
if you're
is low.
interested. Which is low for in our neck of the woods.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Way off. I don't think I
If
understand what a mile
I
is.
if I keep my personal
We'll talk.
it's
We'll talk later.
5,200 some feet. Anyway, if my personal vehicle, if I keep it at 20,000 miles or under in a year, I feel like I'm doing good.
Yeah, we're the same based on where we
100%.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Wow.
3.2 trillion. You did lose
T.
Price is Right style, so Johnny B technically won.
Right.
Yeah.
There you
But,
go. Hey,
but Dustin
Right.
won.
But this is
I learned all I
this
know
is
from Bob
Bingeworthy, not
Barker.
Price is Right.
Dustin.
Where
So-
Y'all seen
where
this
do
movie,
people
Road
go?
Trip?
Where do you guys go on road trips? Like what's
Once.
your go-to road trip?
Well, we
Anywhere. I'll
do
road trip to Atlanta.
14 and a half hours from Alabama to Buffalo every
every
year.
year.
We used to fly. Jesse's gotten over flying, and it just now that we have 2 kids that come with us instead of 1, and it's blah blah blah. So we do, but because of the littles, we do like 7 hours. Stop in Cincinnati, 7 hours more.
Oh, fun.
So that's
Nasty natty.
That's our regular.
I love Cincinnati.
regular.
That can't be true.
Regular road trip.
14
hours.
hours every year.
Every year,
Guaranteed. Well,
usually
14
summer
hours,
for
one
sure,
way.
and winter if the weather
So
cooperates.
28.
I mean,
round
Google
trip.
says
Come on.
15 hours, so props to you for putting the pedal down.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow.
my man.
We're efficient.
It's
Yeah.
just
We
shy
are
of
efficient.
1,000 miles.
Yeah, we put 2,000.
Remember that song?
total.
I would walk 500. You remember that?
Yeah.
A friend of
Oh,
mine
man.
walked out of his wedding to that, and I did a somersault to it down the middle aisle when I was
I
there.
wish we had that.
Throwback to
Shout
last
out
week's episode.
2003,
Hilarious.
baby. We're back.
That was great.
Oh,
Big
three.
year.
Big year.
Who's
We
got the
need
hashtag
to,
this? Hashtag 2003.
Yeah, we
We're hashtagging
need
that one.
an episode just on 2003. I feel like Caleb
feel-
could really lead the way.
I'm for it. That was my first year out of high school. Let's go.
I was a
Babies.
nope. That was
Bunch
I
of
was
babies.
I would have been a senior that year.
Yep.
I graduated 04.
So are we doing?
04.
Are we doing common road trips? We do or like ultimate road? We'll get to ultimate later. I'm
We'll get to
assuming.
ultimate later, yeah, yeah.
So our most common one is Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, first season there, we had a common road trip when we lived in Indiana. We'd go home to see family in Virginia. I mean, I guess now that we're here, we still go home to see family in Virginia. So I guess Atlanta to Richmond, Virginia area is kind of a common one for us. That's I don't think when I think of road trips, I don't think of like a routine, like in terms of like. This is where we always road trip to, as far as the destination is concerned. And I definitely have a routine in terms of like how we're going to pack up, how things are going to go in the vehicle, how long I'm going to go before I stop. I have all that stuff. In
Process,
my
baby.
Process.
Yeah. Some would say it's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Here we go. Come on.
Nice.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So
Our merch team is just salivating at this point.
Which we did add a staff member this morning. We did add a staff person.
We added an intern this morning who's going to handle
Oh,
all
did
of our
we?
merch.
Yep, she's
Excited
gonna
about
handle all
Big
our
fan
merch.
of the pod.
Yeah,
Watched
she-
episode
Wow.
1 and
She's
was
our
immediately like, what can I
number
do?
one fan. She saw me walk in with those biscuits this morning. She goes, "Are you doing it?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
We're doing
Wow.
it.
I love a
I'm
good-
flattered that
Yeah.
you know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our
so
reel or
good.
story, it's on. Maybe we'll put it on there
Fifth time.
post. But
Yeah.
So she did actually watch it.
We did the biscuit challenge that Dustin laid out last week, and it was everything he.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A,
Everything you laid
the
out
Chick-fil-A chicken breakfast chicken fillet.
Yeah.
And then Hardee's biscuit, plain biscuit.
Yeah.
Put those two
so
together.
good,
Too
So
legit
good.
too.
so good,
to quit.
so good.
I got you.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah. Road trip.
So I used to live in Orlando for a long time. So I made that Orlando to Atlanta drive like it was down the street. Like, I mean, I had a 90 '96 Pontiac Grand Am. I could fill that thing up, and I could drive from Orlando to Atlanta without stopping.
You
It
go
was
Interstate 4 to
insane.
95.
I'd go Turnpike to 75, all the way up. Yeah, it was insane. I mean, and crazy. I love that
You
car.
say it was in sync?
NSYNC. I'll probably listen to NSYNC on the drive.
I won't be on
but
that episode.
but our current
You know you want it. Dustin.
yeah bye anyway
Yeah. Tell me about
I love that.
As your chair sinks. Bye.
Yeah. I'll let it sink on
That's
that
the
one.
perfect
I love
episode
that.
for you. Yeah,
I'll let it sink.
But I think our current common road trip, my wife is from California, and we've actually made that drive, that cross country drive twice. So I guess if it's twice round trip, it's 4 times, right?
Yeah.
In the last 18 months.
I was gonna say, you guys just did it recently.
We just did it, and that is a haul.
It's the ultimate.
I've done that trip in my lifetime probably 10 times.
Let me ask you
Never
guys
done
this.
that. I've always wanted. It's on my
It's
bucket
pretty.
list.
It's pretty neat.
It's my bucket
When you
list.
do these common road trips you guys are on, spots you have spots along the
yeah.
way
I
that you're
find-
like, I'm gonna stop right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the same gas stations that we stopped at for a decade when we lived in Indiana and we would go to Virginia. I knew the exit numbers. I didn't even have to. I knew exactly where I was going. I knew when I got there was one that had amazing gelato, and it was like I know when I stop here I'm gonna get some gelato. It's gonna be a gelato break.
I love that. For
So
me,
Liberty gas station,
it's-
Charlottesville, Virginia.
I love. Shout out Charlottesville.
Take note next
For
time
me,
you're in Seatown.
I do have some spots, but it's mostly like the first sign of so. For example, if I'm going to Texas, the first sign of a Whataburger, scoot, I'm
Right.
pulling over. You know what I mean? If I'm going up the East Coast, the first sign of a Sheetz gas station,
Yeah.
I'm there. If you've never had Sheetz gas station, oh my,
Whataburger, shout out Vengeance.
vengeance.
Also,
yes.
you can tell
Good
someone
call.
that has lived in Texas for a minute
yeah,
because they say Whataburger. They
100%.
say it like it's water.
yeah,
Water.
Whataburger.
You want one of them Whataburgers?
Whataburger.
Burger.
Yeah, I
and
do.
I'm like, that sounds soggy.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't want it.
But if I almost feel bad calling
what I mean?
Sheetz a gas station
Like
because
someone
it's,
took a burger
it's
and
not a
water
gas
it's
bullshit.
amazing.
Let me just be honest with you guys for a second. We road trip, and that's the only gas station that I will say this: the only one that has come close. QT.
One of the last
QT is
trips I
getting
took
there.
with him, we ate a meal.
Don't say it.
Our meal.
Don't do it.
Our meal.
It's true, though.
That we ate
Yeah, a meal.
multiple times.
Yes.
At least 3 times
3
that I
times,
can remember
minimum.
was from Sheets.
Come on.
Wow.
Listen,
So
you know,
good.
you can,
Not hey, let's stop in for a snack. It
No.
was what's for dinner tonight? Sheets.
we're gonna get
Sheetz.
you.
Oh,
I've never
they're
said-
burritos.
I did a whole layout.
I've never
Fantastic.
said to myself, let's go have dinner at a gas station. As redneck as I am.
Yeah.
Don't take it back. When I was in Maryland, Royal Farms
Royal
had the
Farms.
best chicken.
Rofo chicken,
Rofo
baby.
chicken.
Yeah.
Incredible. So we did do that. Take
Just
it
to be
back.
clear, we didn't eat in the sheets. We pre-ordered on the
We're
app.
still talking about food.
Yeah.
I knew this episode was going to be about food.
We're gonna start back.
Start
I
back.
we
Start
pre-ordered on the app.
I'm
And
just
we
waiting
went
over
and
here
picked
on
it
road trips, but you guys keep going.
Yeah, we pre-ordered on the app, went, picked it up, brought it back.
Act like you don't eat.
Yeah,
What? Have you been to Buc-ee's?
have
Oh,
not.
come on.
Busey's.
Never been.
Busey. Yeah, but
Busey's
you never
is
been to
awesome.
Buc-ee's.
Never one time.
Okay, so we're gonna need to
Look,
film that whole experience.
it's
and
unbelievable.
maybe in the show
I
notes
feel like-
of
I
this
feel
episode.
like-
You walk
Okay,
in.
I-
I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys who's gonna be like, this is it.
Well,
That's it?
okay, so if you're someone who doesn't like big
Athens,
crowds,
Alabama, now open.
yeah, you
I
don't.
can't do the tagline.
So, you know,
Where
nowadays,
the beaver never
can't
sleeps.
do it.
you know, nowadays,
true, he doesn't.
a lot of teenagers, they're all like,
Yeah.
they're going through their stuff, So I say that
at
to
this
say, I
place.
took a bunch of teenagers to a Buc-ee's once,
like a
and I've never
Walmart.
seen so many like anxiety attacks
Yeah.
happen in my life.
Tell me, walk me through what happened.
It is
What's
crazy.
What is it?
It is the capital
okay?
of indecision.
Yeah, that's one. And
Because there's so
people.
much stuff there
Yeah.
that you're like, it's like going to Sam's Club where you're like, I didn't know that I needed a 5-gallon bag of Doritos, but now that I know it exists,
I mean, you're gonna
I
get
do
beaver
need
print
it.
boxers and not know why.
To be clear, I always would go for a 5-gallon bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
So Buc-ee's is like a Walmart meets.
Buggy's is a
gas
Walmart with a gas
station.
station out front.
So you walk in.
Am I wrong?
You got a lot of square footage that's
I mean,
like
it's
a
way
Cracker
better
Barrel
than
gift
Walmart.
shop.
Sorry,
Feels
Sam
like
Walton.
that.
Oh, I love a good
Sam
Cracker
Walton.
Barrel.
And then you walk
Yes.
in,
The Buc-ee's
and
story.
you got all the stuff you'd expect at a gas station.
Yeah.
Then you walk in further, and there's a massive food
There's
center.
like layers to this
Like
Buc-ee's.
yeah, all
In the
kinds of
center
like
of the
food
whole place is fresh brisket,
Brisket,
that they
barbecue,
that they
yeah.
that they,
burritos,
that they
biscuits,
smoke
sandwiches.
and cook all day long.
Hold on.
And there's every time
Yes, it's
yes, and-
Texas based. So
Yes, and
Texas
happening?
and every time a brisket
is a brisket.
and every time a
Right
brisket
or left?
comes down on the
I don't even
board,
know.
every time a new brisket gets slapped down to be chopped up, they go brisket on the board.
Yeah.
And you can hear it all over the
that
place.
moved me when you said
Right?
it.
Didn't it? You
wanna
felt
get-
like
I
you
wanna
were
get in
there.
the car and go
Like I
right
need
now.
some
A
beaver
jerky
nuggets.
station bigger than this room we're filming in. Just various kinds of jerky.
Also,
And then,
they claimed the world's best restrooms, and I gotta say, that's
true.
a fact.
That is
well, they're
definitely
like
a fact.
pods.
100% facts.
They're like
I may
individual
or-
bathroom.
Everything that you like, man, I wish a
Paradise,
rest stop bathroom was like this. That's what it's like.
Yeah, bathroom
I wish
was
my
so
bathroom
good.
at
I may
home-
have taken
I
a
wish
Zoom
the
call
door
for it.
goes
like
all the
this.
way to
Maybe.
the floor. I wish
There's a
there
lot
was
happening
no
right
weird
here.
gaps.
You guys are all three very excited about
And what's
this.
funny is they were like,
This is the
they were throwing
episode. I don't know
shade,
what
and
you
now
thought
the
you
more
were
we
getting
talk about it, we're getting excited. So
Yeah,
it's about 45 minutes from my house, Birmingham direction.
we only road trip.
How?
Let's go.
What's the closest one to
I'm
here?
6.
Closest one here?
Canton, probably Canton, Georgia.
Is it Canton? That was called Catonsville?
Canton, Georgia.
Catonsville's
Yeah,
Maryland.
well, they're probably about the same distance. Canton's about an hour from here.
Mine's probably like an hour and a half.
If you
Okay.
go straight north of here. Right, as soon as you get on 75, it's not that far.
And there's
worth
one
the
in Winter
experience
Robins
once.
too. So
Yeah.
it's just, if you're going to Florida from here, you're gonna pass it.
I go to Florida from here. I've been to Florida from here, and I don't remember passing abuse.
Recently, in like the last year.
I like. Yeah, listen. Before anybody comments and says, "Y'all, it's pronounced buggies," we know it's pronounced
Yeah,
buggies.
yeah.
There was a TikTok
Trolls do
reel going around of this lady who had never been before, and she showed up and she's like, I just love this little place
Yeah.
called Busey's."
Clearly a pre-planned bit, but it was a good bit.
So
Is that when they updated their website so that it's clearly
I
saying
think
Buc-ee's?
yes,
They
that's
put the hyphen.
that's when they put the hyphen in here.
Appreciate
I'm not
that.
gonna
yo.
lie, that still just feels like Busey's to me. It doesn't matter how.
That's because I started telling you that it's called Busey's.
It's
a while
forever
ago.
there.
we're having fun. All right.
that.
So
People
there
are
are
six.
there are road trip spots. You guys stop along the way. I love that. Clearly, Buc-ee's is a big one for you guys. Gas stations are always a big
Busey's.
deal. We could do a whole episode on just gas stations. It feels like, but I love a good Busey's. No, I'm just kidding. I've never been.
Never
I'll
been.
find out. I love Sheetz. Sheetz is my go-to
Sheetz is
place.
so good.
Fried mac and cheese.
QT
where
is
it's
close
at.
second.
What about
it's
Wawa?
like- it
You
is
ever
a
been to
second.
Wawa?
Wawa.
do.
There you go. Now
I
you're
do
getting
like a Wawa.
northeast.
I do like a Wawa.
have.
Wawa's got
solid.
better hot dogs than Sheetz. Which
They're
I know how you
hoagies?
feel about hot dogs.
Yeah.
but
Hot dogs. We could do an episode never on hot dogs.
Never,
That
yeah.
is disgusting.
We'll do the hot dog episode when you're out of town, and then
be
when
great.
I'm out of town, y'all can do the boy band episode.
boy band episode.
That one's gonna go viral. Everyone loves boy bands
I love
except
that
for
good boy.
you.
Yeah, I love a good boy band.
Minority band.
I mean, I'm Boyz II Men. Does that count as a boy band?
Yeah.
They're
Is it-
boys in a band.
They were on the boy band Christmas.
well,
does it?
that's the thing that gets me about
Does it,
boys
though?
band is it really a band if no one plays an instrument?
Male choir. All right.
yeah.
That's
What's
exactly
next on
right.
your list there,
It's a vocal
Chris?
ensemble.
Yeah. So
anyway, we're getting ahead of
keep going.
ourselves. Back to
We're
road
really
trip.
Quartet.
we're
This
dating
is-
ourselves here.
Just like a good road trip, we are veering off path.
Off the course.
Oh,
How about this?
that was good. That was good.
What do you think on popular destinations? Like, where is a vacation? Like, or you think Florida?
Oh, Florida. Yeah. Well,
Florida.
I know.
Do you know this? Do you know the most
No,
popular
my
destination?
question though
can't
is
say my
destination
opinion
or
about
road trip destination? There's a big difference.
Yeah, road trip destination.
Oh, road trip destinations out west. We're talking like Colorado, Royal Gorge, Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
stuff
people
like
are
that.
driving out west.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah,
think so?
yeah. I think so.
But I don't know. Panama City Beach is crowded.
I'd still say
full of
Florida.
people that live
I
in
think
Georgia.
everybody drives to
Yeah.
Florida for vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking vacation, but if we're just talking like road trips,
Like the
that's
beauty of the
different.
general, the number one rated one, the research says is
Yeah.
the Pacific Coast Highway,
Really?
which
Highway
is
1?
Highway 1.
unbelievable. Have you done it?
No.
Yeah.
So at some
It is
point,
beautiful.
so we didn't do the whole thing, but I had a friend who lived in Santa Monica, so we flew into LA, and then we took about a week and went from LA to San Francisco along the Pacific
Highway 1.
Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Santa Barbara,
Corona del
Carmel
Mar.
by the Sea, Clint Eastwood, Pebble Beach.
You saw
good.
Clint Eastwood there?
Maybe not, but he was the mayor of a town we drove through once. Carmel by the Sea, indeed.
Laguna Beach.
Yeah, that's usually that was rated 1. Blue Ridge Parkway 2.
Oh, yeah,
not
Blue
that I
Ridge
read them
Parkway.
all.
That's where I grew up.
Arizona something 3. No, I'm just
Have
kidding.
you been to the Santa Monica Pier?
Yes.
Oh, incredible. Route 66 or whatever it is. Route 66.
Thank you.
It actually it ends there. Like there's a big sign that says you've ended. You're
Yeah.
at the end of it. So I
Man,
mean,
look
if you
at how
were
far
taking
State
a
Route
classic
goes.
road trip, it would
It
end
goes
there.
all the way. Yeah, it goes all the way up California coast.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to Oregon, technically, if you were to just keep rocking it. I think.
Let's say it ends right here.
The PCH, yeah, that would be where it would. The road obviously would probably keep going, but it might change.
The what? What is PCH?
This says it's only
Pacific Coast
655
Highway.
miles
Oh,
long.
yeah. Sorry.
Get
Like,
hit,
what is-
bro. And that's
You
I was
can't,
like, what,
you can't do the
Panama
whole
City was
thing.
happening. Yeah.
You can't do the whole thing just Los Angeles to.
Nope, gotta add
If you get a week, hit Los Angeles for like less than a day because you don't need to be there longer. Sorry, Genevieve.
No,
then
LA
you go
is
up. And then you drive, but then you hit some other good spots on the way. Finish with a day or two in San Francisco. Amazing week. And I don't know if that counts as a road trip. Maybe fly in somewhere and then drive, but I count it.
Yeah.
I had a really good friend of mine that did the Cannonball Run. You know what that is?
I don't.
No.
The Cannonball Run is where you see how fast you can go from New York City to L.A.
Wow, I would love to attempt this.
It was like 30. I think they got under. It was under 30 hours.
Is there a record to break?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love good competition.
Yeah. What is the cannon? Why do they call it the cannon? Like it's just because it's a rapid speed.
So
what's the purpose behind Cannonball Run?
So I didn't even think about this.
Cannonball Run is a movie in 1981.
Wow.
No, I did know that. That's
like,
part. Well, it's based off of. That's what this.
Is that
It's
Burt Reynolds up there?
Yeah,
Oh,
Burt
and
Reynolds.
Jackie
Oh,
Chan?
man. I
dude,
love
this movie is
Wait,
fantastic.
this-
If you've never
this
seen it.
Awesome.
ensemble
Look at this
cast.
Dean Martin's in
My
there.
God, can we watch this movie
And
and do a whole
Sammy Davis
podcast
Sammy
review?
Davis.
You had me at Jackie Chan.
What is happening?
Wow.
Is it true? Was it Jackie Chan
All
that
the
they said had
great-
to slow down? One of those guys had to slow down his punches because he was moving too fast for the
me.
cameras to catch.
I believe it.
Do y'all remember that? It was like one
Here
of
it is,
those
right here.
martial
That
arts.
was
A cannonball
probably Chuck
run in
Norris.
real life is an unsanctioned speed record for driving across the United States. There's actually exact points. I remember my friend telling me that there's exact points that you have to start from. There's an actual parking garage in New York City that you're required. If you're
Hit a timer?
If you're going to qualify, that's where you have to start from. No, I think there's some kind of like way that you record your map or whatever like that. And then there's an exact place there. It's in so New York City's Red Ball Garage to the Port Nifo Hotel in Redondo Beach near LA.
Sounds amazing.
It's exactly 2,906 miles.
Holy cow!
I would love to attempt this.
Yeah, so he
It's
did
on my
it.
list
So him
now.
and his buddy flew up to New York. They rented a Dodge Charger, and they did not stop.
Gosh, you said Dodge Charger. You remember the Will Ferrell?
I do.
skit?
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Wow.
That's what he drove when he did his
I would
things.
love to do this.
As of October 2021, the overall record is 25 hours 39 minutes
We can
with
do-
an
we can do
average
average
speed of 110 miles per hour.
hour.
Driven by Arn Torman and Doug Tabbitt, along with their spotter. Yeah, they had a spotter.
Arnie.
A lot of them will use a spotter along the
You gotta
way
avoid those tickets.
to avoid the tickets, to avoid speed traps. You never heard of this?
This is
No.
commitment.
Oh, this is so cool.
I'm on a
I'm
podcast
always
to
fascinated
learn,
by
guys.
this.
So can I give you the
I-
horror version of this same thing?
Let's go.
Buddy of mine I worked with at a company in Wisconsin. He and his friends are in a fantasy football league.
Okay.
Every year they live in Madison. The loser, the winner gets nothing.
Madison.
Wisconsin. Whoever gets last place in the league has to buy a Greyhound bus ticket to Los Angeles and back. They have to
you
get
told-
on the
you told me
bus.
this before.
They're not allowed to get off the bus until they get there. And they're required to spend less than 2 hours at the bus station. They have to get on one and go back. So their punishment is basically living on a Greyhound bus with no break, no anything for like 3 days
That's
straight.
fantastic. Does anyone send
Oh,
like
this is
any
incredible.
recorded or anything? Like
I don't
video
know.
or
I can
anything?
ask him.
I would love to see what
Is that not incredible?
I remember
You're
That's
a
terrible.
commissioner
I'm
now.
already in that.
Oh my god.
I'm in our
We do
league.
need to
As,
do.
as
somebody
I
write-
looked at you, I thought, "Oh crap,
should
this
not
is
tell
a
this
mistake."
story.
Somebody write this down. We do need to do an episode later this year on fantasy football when that season
do
starts
it.
coming around again,
Yeah.
because this guy right here has got some stories about fantasy football that we need to tell, but we're not going to do that right now.
I get last
Madison,
a lot. Does
Wisconsin.
that
Let me
count?
tell you, my first child was born in 2011, my oldest. And my father was in Madison, Wisconsin at a conference, speaking at a conference, and got wind that the baby was coming and drove from Madison, Wisconsin to whatever the next closest, I don't know geography, next closest city he could catch a flight and flew back to Greenville and made it before the baby got there. Best road trip ever.
Madison
Wow.
has an airport. Milwaukee's a lot bigger.
Milwaukee's
Chicago's
that
the
feels
next
right.
one.
Either
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee or Chicago.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what my Madison story is.
We did something not nearly as epic as the Cannonball Run, but there's this thing known as like the shotgun run between LA and Vegas, where you do that trip in a day. Like you don't get a hotel. Like
Yeah.
you leave LA and you drive from LA to Vegas and you just do whatever the spirit
do.
leads you to do
Yeah, yeah.
in Las Vegas, and then you turn around and you come home all within 24 hours.
That's
It blows my mind that you've
Yeah,
never heard
it's
of
insane.
this.
Never.
Could you go a little deeper on whatever the spirit leads you to do in
Yeah,
Vegas? No, so Madison, Wisconsin, I got to throw this in.
Sure. Hashtag Madison, Wisconsin.
Most underrated city in America, top 10 city in America to go to. Hands down, visit it.
I've
Go
heard
spend
that.
some time.
I've heard
Really?
that.
It's
Madison,
an
Wisconsin?
amazing
I've heard
town.
greatly underrated.
It's about 200,000, so it's like a great size. It's not enormous, but there's a
Right.
ton to do. There's college scene there. Plus, you got like
Really?
college towns surrounded by just. We got to go.
Is that where the
It's
Packers
really-
play?
incredible.
Are they in Madison?
They're about 4 hours north of that in Green Bay.
Wow.
They're Green Bay Packers.
welcome to
the Madison Packers.
he is our fantasy football commissioner.
Oh my
everybody,
gosh. Where's
get those
where are the
Greyhound
Chiefs from?
tickets ready, Chris.
Because we
Kansas
hit
City.
Kansas City last
That's
time.
going to trigger another
Now we got
conversation.
the-
And
Now we got the-
at the
Hashtag Madison Packers.
at the what mark? At the
Madison
41
Packers.
minute mark.
We
lost Chris.
One tweet.
All right, my apologies.
Madison
fellas. Oh my
Packers.
god. Yeah, that's true. They do play in Green Bay, don't they?
I also accidentally picked a scab off and I'm bleeding, so let's just keep going with that.
Chris is probably one of the smartest people I know. But when we start recording, I don't know what happens. I don't understand it.
Madison
There's
Packers.
new,
Let's go.
new discoveries. every episode.
You are
There's
getting a
this new
jersey for
state named
Christmas.
Missouri.
I
It's
can't
just
wait.
not every
All
episode.
right.
I'm like, not as smart as I thought he was.
Well,
That's okay.
this episode is
like your chair.
sponsored by
It's
the
just-
Madison
It's just
Packers.
like my chair. Again, number
Madison
7.
Packers, a minor league
Yeah, minor league
Football
football
team.
team,
Minor league
part of the
Football team,
ASWL.
the
Farm
Madison
league.
Packers.
farm system.
That is
So
so
do you guys
good.
try
That is so
to bring this
good.
right
He tried
back
to
in?
do it. He tried to be straight to. He goes, "Oh, you mean Green Bay? It's about 4 hours from Madison."
And off to stage left, house right, Dustin's gone. He's just gone.
Oh man, I don't.
Go Pack, go! All right,
Big
big
foosball
Madison
fan.
Packers.
We try for one good minute every episode,
Oh
and
my
hopefully
gosh.
we might.
Thank you for joining us for this last
There
break.
we go.
This episode is sponsored by Laughter.
Laughter.
Road trip games. What do you guys do when you're in the car? Now we're in a weird season where like
You can't.
I have an iPad, have whatever, have a
kinda
DVD
sad,
player.
actually.
Yeah.
We in our house, we force road trip games because they're the best. We do the alphabet game. You guys familiar? So
Yep.
you
Going on
have
a
to
picnic?
find something.
Oh, you do that.
yeah.
We do going on a picnic.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically the alphabet game. We're
Okay.
going on a picnic and I'm taking an apple, and then the second person says I'm going on a picnic. I'm taking an apple and a banana, and then you go through the alphabet like that. By the time you get to the end, you've memorized the entire thing.
We do the alphabet like you got to find it on people's license plates.
Or signs.
Or
Signs are fun
signs.
too.
Yeah, signs is another one.
My wife and I have a running shared note of license plates that we see just around. Just it's like a little thing like we want to see all the license plates.
Like all 50 states? Is that what you're shooting for?
Yep.
Yeah. Then will you go international? You think you'll ever add the international tag in there?
Once we finish out the states, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
I love the alphabet game. I'm a big fan. I'm a big
Going
fan of
worldwide.
my team. You guys familiar with this game?
I don't think
you
I know
pass a herd of cattle. You got to call them on your team before the other person does.
Wow.
Person with the
Never heard of
most amount of cattle wins at the
That
end of the game.
sounds like a rural
Sim-
Pennsylvania
Sounds
game.
like something
So
you have
thank
to
you.
do
Yes,
in
it is.
Kansas.
Similar
I'm from
game,
Pennsylvania.
pigs and cows,
Okay.
which is when we used to road trip through. My parents were missionaries. We came back to the States every other summer, and a pig's on your side of the car, you get 1 point. Cow, you
Yeah.
get 5. Horse, you get 10.
Love it.
Can
We
we
used
go?
to do. We still do. We don't used to. I enjoy road trip games. We do bingo. Yeah, we have pre-made bingo cards, and it's like you gotta see like a tractor trailer, or a bicycle, or whatever, and so you have to try to fill that out. It's a dry race
We've
game,
done that.
That's
and then you
amazing.
can race it off and do it all over again. It's a
Yeah.
good time.
My favorite road trip game. Are you ready? I don't think there's anything that beats this. Whether we're taking the car or the truck, right?
Or the minivan.
This game, it starts like this. You put a set of headphones on each kid,
Okay.
and you plug it into like an iPad or a DVD
Here we go.
player,
All right.
and then we just go.
You tell me when you get there.
It's the little road trip game.
Yeah, our favorite game is the quiet game. Ayo.
Yeah.
No, our kids are.
I'm getting a question on my parenting tactics.
Sponsored by melatonin. No,
Yeah, Benadryl.
it's so
goes, "We
funny.
use
My
drugs."
friend.
Take your vitamins.
Side note, sidebar. I had a friend who used to threaten to send her kid to Uncle Benny's, and I was like, "Who's Uncle Benny?" And they said,
Benadryl.
"Benadryl." And I was
Oh, let's go.
like,
Oh, you don't
can
make me
hang
use
out
the
with Uncle
drill.
Benny.
Benny's drill.
Benny's
Not,
drill.
Worried about
Hashtag
some of the people. in
not the
your
way to
circles.
parent.
Yeah.
But we,
I've heard.
our kids are small, so we're still kind of in like the simple,
So it doesn't take
like
much to knock
I
'em out.
Spy. I Spy is
Oh yeah, 20
good
questions.
one,
Always
yeah.
the easy one.
Just a
with the
drop.
little
Yeah.
I
kids.
Spy. Yeah.
My problem with I Spy is that my son is a master of finding something we passed 25 minutes ago, saying I spy something green, and so then we're like, okay, so we're all thinking in the car, so we're picking out the green things. He's like, no, it was that sign 75 miles back. that y'all meant. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, like
Yeah,
I
you didn't see that?
I
It was right-
dislike you.
I know him and I
pretty
believe
big.
you.
So we've had,
believe you.
it's true. We've had to reconfigure that game, I Spy game, to be a little bit more user friendly.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But we haven't traveled. I did. What is Dramamine? Yeah, that's a drug you're supposed to take when you travel. Is that right?
Like a motion sickness.
Yeah,
Motion
like motion
sickness,
sickness. Yeah. I took Dramamine probably more than I should have. We did a trip with our college from South Carolina to when the hurricane came in, I think 05. Does that sound right? Was there a big hurricane that like destroyed Florida in 05?
Probably.
It sounds right. And so we drove down there to help, like in the relief of that. And I took a bunch of Dramamine and I slept on that bus the entire way home.
Are we talking about road trip drugs? Because I got a great story.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Legal drugs.
No.
Back to what the spirit leads you to do.
I actually
Vegas,
posted about
Genevieve.
this recently on Facebook. I don't know why. I was just thinking about it. So we're all kind of in the church community, and so one of the things you do, as a believer, part of your kind of process and your rhythm is fasting, right?
Yeah.
So I fasted caffeine for 90 days.
How was that?
I don't know. I guess I love Jesus more then. I don't know that I could do that now, but I did, and so. But my friend and I, we were, Kansas City, that one place.
Is that one?
Yeah.
Which one? Kansas City
the
or
Chiefs play
Missouri,
there,
Kansas
and
City?
the Royals. Yeah, maybe
The Royals play there too?
Yeah.
He's still
Packers
reeling
did
that
not
there's
play there.
He's
They're
still
gonna be the
reeling.
Super
How
Bowl,
close to the
the
Packers to
Chiefs?
Kansas City? Just out of curiosity.
He's still reeling that there's 2 Kansas cities.
Yeah,
But there's not.
It was
There's
one Kansas City.
It's one Kansas
But it's
City.
in 2 different states.
Yes.
So that's what I'm asking. Do the Kansas City Royals play in Missouri, Kansas City?
Yeah.
Or Kansas City? This is a big thing for me
Kansas
right
City,
now.
Missouri.
I'm pretty sure it's Kansas
Is that where
City.
all of this? Is that where all the sports
of them
teams
are in Missouri.
are in Missouri?
All of them.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri,
Yeah,
Missouri.
But I was
Depends on,
driving.
depends on if you're from there or not.
All right.
Yeah, I was driving from Atlanta to Missouri.
Yep.
Kansas City, Missouri, where I was living, and it was me and a buddy. We both, from Atlanta, but we're living in Kansas City, and I thought, the plan was for him to help me drive. Okay, so I take the first leg, and I've driven maybe 4 or 5 hours. We didn't leave till midnight, mind you. This is what you do at 25 years old. You don't think about it. And so I drove the first 4 or 5 hours, and then I said, "Hey, bro, it's your turn." He gets in the driver's seat. This dude drives like 30 minutes, and he's like, "Bro, I can't do it."
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
switch. So I pull over to the gas station, and mind you, I'd just given up caffeine for 90 days, and I decided to get 2 rock stars. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop. I wish it stopped there.
I wish it did too, because I already
This
feel
is
wish
where,
I'd
this is
been
where it
there.
goes dark.
The Rockstar drinks, not people.
You're right.
Okay.
This is where
you never know with Johnny. It could be either
That's
way.
why I was asking.
Could be
Yeah.
both.
we'll get to
Pick
that
up
later.
2 rock stars.
Picked him up.
Love you, Nick. Call back. So anyway, this is where it really goes.
Jonas.
It really goes dark at checkout.
Again.
And I don't think they even sell these anymore. Maybe they caught wind of this story and they got canceled. But they used to sell these little like energy capsules for truck
I
drivers.
do remember that. Yep.
And
used
I
to
think
take
they're called
those.
yellow jackets or
Yeah, yeah.
something. Yeah.
Those things will get you going, man.
I decided that that's what I needed.
How'd that go?
I've never had
So,
heart
wait, did you take that and
palpitations.
chase it
Yes.
with Rockstar?
Yes.
2 rock stars,
I
is what I
had
heard.
legit heart palpitations, like freaking out.
Yeah.
And then here's my brother over
What do you
here.
call it? Heart what?
Palpitations.
Palpitations.
Is that
No, it's
spelled?
like it's beating a little off.
I never know how to say that word.
Palpitations.
Palpitations is what happens to orange juice.
no, that's an-
Palp-
yeah, that's
I'm
an
kidding.
orange
That's
Is
a
it
joke.
palpitations or palpitations?
Palp.
Let us know in the show notes. I don't know.
It's probably
But
Palpitate.
to top it off, my friend wanted, at this point, after he couldn't drive, decided, you know what, I'm going to stay awake. So he puts on like the
Palpitations.
loudest heavy metal music known to man. That's why you don't like, essentially the person riding shotgun is the DJ,
Yeah.
but this guy, he just failed at every task
Mm.
in this road trip. And so it's like, this metal. And I'm like,
And
Your heart's
your
going
heart's
right with
matching
I'm
it.
freaking out, y'all. I mean, it
Your
was,
heart's like, this is my jam.
no,
How did they know? This
I've
is my-
never considered murder.
Can we confirm that he was actually playing that? That wasn't just your own like
Yeah.
heart going.
that's a
I'm going
good-
to
that's a
ruin
good point.
you.
Yeah.
it
If we had a
was-
Oh my
flashback camera,
gosh.
we'd go back. We
It
see
was
the
the
passenger
worst.
was asleep and
Yeah.
it was absolutely silent in
It
there.
was the worst.
I don't know how you
experience of my
guys
life.
are.
John's over there going.
I get so tired. I see it. I get so tired driving, but when I'm sitting in the passenger seat, because you switch so the other person can sleep,
Oh yeah, you're wide awake.
and I'm like, man, I could
don't
do
like-
100 hours worth of work right now.
I don't let anyone drive.
I don't either.
I know.
Can,
That's why I
can
enjoy.
confirm.
I have to
can
drive.
confirm.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I don't drive, and that's a whole thing. I probably shouldn't bring up on this podcast, but it's just a thing. I love my wife driving because it doesn't allow us to fight
Yeah.
about how I'm driving. Because I drive aggressively
There you go.
because I'm from the north, and I believe that aggressiveness is a gift of the Lord.
Offensive driver, not a defensive driver. That's
I am.
That's how I roll too.
Like the Madison Packers.
Like
Yeah.
the Madison Packers.
Like the Madison
Offense,
Packers.
not defense.
If you guys watched their season
Offense.
03 Madison Packers season,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that one?
2003.
Crazy
2003
season.
killer. Killer season.
Crazy season 03. Yeah, I love a good road trip game. I would do that all day long. What about horror stories? You guys have some terrible moments.
I mean, that might have been a horror
That
story,
is
but I
that
survived.
feels like the worst story. That you could
There's
have
more
shared,
to
right?
it, but we'll just shelve it there. I'm here today. I survived.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
we made it. Yeah, just a shout out to the kids. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I think the pills are gone now. I don't think you're allowed to do.
I don't think so either.
I don't
Number
think
8.
you're allowed to do pills.
Someone caught wind of the story.
Does
I
peeing
like
your
you're marketing them for me.
does
I got
peeing
to.
your
Hey, I'll
pants?
just flash it.
You'll go through and you'll
Count as a
I-
horror
I have a
story.
horror story. But somebody else can go.
All right,
I'll go.
Did you say you had one?
I got
I
one
asked
locked
the
and
question.
loaded.
Haven't heard from Caleb in a minute.
You still here?
Does peeing your pants count as a
Oh
horror
my
story?
god,
absolutely.
I mean, it depends on if you like peeing your pants or not. I guess.
Everybody
if you like
pees your pants.
it,
If you're
That's
not-
a
because if you
different,
like it,
coolest.
different
You're not
topic
cool
for a
if
different
you don't pee your
podcast.
if you
pants.
like it, it's
Different
more of
topic
a,
for a
it's more of a
different
dream
podcast.
than a nightmare.
Hashtag Billy
If
Manson.
you like it, it's a dream. If you don't, it's a nightmare.
So we're gonna go a few years before 2003. This is like 1989. I'm about 10 years old.
Hashtag 1989.
I was
Hashtag
3.
Taylor Swift.
And we go road trip. Half the family on my mom's side lived in Indiana,
Okay.
and then several in Arkansas. So it's like an 8 to 10 hour drive.
Chris Stapleton once said you got to get down to Arkansas.
Let's go
I don't have a.
I can
Where is
verify that.
Arkansas?
that way.
That doesn't surprise me.
Is
That
it
way.
west?
Are you
that way.
serious?
It's west. I have no clue.
Just so you know,
It's west.
in the state that we're in right now, if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go east,
Yeah.
there is no other state.
It's water. There's a lot of water.
Wait,
And
no,
then-
no, no,
and then
no.
England.
You're in South Carolina.
That's
You don't run into South Carolina
Well,
to
it's
go
a little
east?
up
I'm
too.
just saying.
More of the north.
I'm just
More of a
saying,
north
if you just go,
Just due
Wow.
east.
I'm just saying another state east
Hold
of
on a
us.
second. Hold on a second.
I'm
Hold on,
learning a
this
lot
for the first
about
time.
Chris
Pull up,
Comstock.
Georgia. You're saying that if I just drive straight
I
east,
feel like I
Water.
just need to always have a map up of the United
You're
States
gonna
of
hit
America.
Augusta, and then it's gonna take you.
You're going to hit the
North.
Atlantic Ocean unless you turn northward, and then you'll hit South
Yeah.
Carolina.
there is not a barrier. There's not a. Well, you pulled up the whole United States.
Yeah.
Of course
So
I
this
did.
is
Wow.
gonna take 75 hours.
No, it's not.
No, it's good. Right, here we go. That's a zoom in.
That feels like not the United
That's
States.
Can we
Cincinnati.
zoom in on Madison, Wisconsin, please?
Okay,
We'll
let's
get
right
there-
there by
we'll get
Green
there in
Bay.
a second. Sorry.
I looked at that.
Boom.
All right, look, there's South Carolina. So you're saying, okay, where does South Carolina end? There's a lot of lines. There's a lot of. where's
South
the-
Carolina ends right around
Charleston.
in here.
Uh,
So yes,
Charleston.
you're right. You will go if you didn't pivot
From our
and you
part of the
went
state,
straight
correct.
east.
Right.
Yes, you will.
You'll hit Chucktown because that's what
Right.
we, yeah, we did
I'm
that
just
trip.
saying.
We did that road trip as
I'm
a
just
team.
saying in the block and tackle scheme here.
Okay.
Right? If you go.
All right.
There is no other state east of Georgia. Is what I'm getting at. Also, for your reference, Arkansas is
That way.
this way.
Yeah.
There it is.
Little Rock.
Oh, over there by Mississippi.
Goes-
Oh,
it
got
goes
it. Okay.
Georgia, Alabama,
All right.
Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and
that?
like once you
So
get
that's-
past Georgia, you don't want to be in any of them,
Arkansas is on
but-
top of Louisiana.
Oh my gosh, y'all! Kansas is right next to Missouri.
How-
That
okay.
is wild.
and then Texas,
and then if we
Y'all
really
are watching this for the first. I mean, this is
and then
me.
Kansas City. Give me a
and
little
then-
Kansas City.
Oh, look
and
at
then
oh
Kansas
man.
City.
Hold on. Zoom that. Okay, all right. So this is the guy that goes to 2 states.
Yeah, yeah. This is the guy.
This is the guy. This
Hey,
is our guy.
Can we superimpose that NBC? The more you know,
Sure.
rainbow thing going on again?
Dun, dun. I think we'd get flagged.
That's our guy. That's weird that
hashtag
pic-
the more
that,
you know.
Well, I don't know. This is
all
a
right,
random
so,
picture of the United States.
We got to build up today. What'd you say?
It's a random picture. When you Google the United States, it's a random
That's a nice
city
spot.
photo.
Well, I think let's
City.
imagine you're Googling from another country.
I don't know what that
You
means.
want to put your best foot forward if you're the U.S.
This is the best
Which
photo right
is-
here.
that's
It's
something.
New York.
That looks like Chicago.
It's kind.
Nope,
We should
it
talk about
says
air
New
travel
York.
sometime because it's kind of like when you land
Does say
in,
New York.
when you land in JFK
It's
and
right here. It
LaGuardia,
says New York
and
right
that's
there.
your first thing you see. It's like okay, it's the
Just
best way
say
to
right
go.
there at the top left. All right.
Looks like Chicago. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you. You
in
know
the fact
better
that
than
they're
me.
both cities, yes.
Big sky. All right, sorry. Your question was, peeing your,
Pee
you
your
like
pants.
peeing
Does
your
that
pants?
count?
Do you like peeing your pants?
Yeah.
What pants?
Yeah. It's a
Is
horror.
peeing-
I mean,
peeing
it
your
was.
pants a horror story?
Sounds like it was a horror story for you. It sounds
Well,
like you're
I
working
mean,
through
if
some
it
things.
scarred you, then yeah.
So you remember back in the day before they had car seats and like cared about kids in the back?
Yes.
So we in the 80s we took a family road trip down from Indiana to Arkansas, and we had a pickup. They threw my brother and me
Get in the
into
back.
the back of the pickup
Yep, I've
for
done
that
that.
drive. Now there was a camper
I've done
shell
that.
on it.
Yep, I've done that.
They threw a sheet on it.
I've
They
done
were
that.
like, "Y'all be fine. Sleep
I
through
had
the
the
night."
same. I had the same thing.
Literally,
I
we're
had the exact
bouncing
same.
around. I mean, this is horrible.
Yeah, they have blow up mattresses for that now.
I got to
They
go
do.
to the
I'm about
bathroom.
buy one.
I got to go to the bathroom really bad. So I knock on the little thing that opens to
Right.
the front of the pickup
But
where my
because there's a
cousin
shell
Abe
on it,
is and
there's
his
2
uncle.
layers of glass.
Yeah.
By the time they stop, I'd completely peed myself. And
Nice.
to this day, I feel like I need to have a little confession.
Yeah.
To this day, my brother was 2.5 years younger than me. We get out and they can smell the pee, and they're like, "Jake." And I literally,
He's like, "I know,
I'm
right?"
like, I know. And I go over, I pretend to pee in the grass when I've already just completely peed myself.
Yeah.
Jake's too asleep to know the difference, so he just stumbles through it. We jump back in. In the time it was open in the back, of course, Arkansas mosquitoes, which are the size of hummingbirds, completely fill the back
Wow.
of it.
Google
so the rest
that.
of the way, we're bouncing around, pick up bed, smells like pee, hummingbird motorcycles or
Motorcycles.
mosquitoes.
I think you're saying
Hummingbird
mosquitoes.
motorcycles
Yeah.
buzzing about. That's the worst, I think.
Wow.
I thought you were going to tell me that you peed on Jake.
Well,
And that
full-on Billy
in
Crystal
an effort to
Slickers.
sabotage them.
different.
Yeah, but let me just be clear. We all
different
know on a
story.
road trip, it's important to establish a pee corner immediately. Just like when you're stuck in the elevator. Hashtag office.
Wow. Segue.
Those are big.
Sort
Natural.
of,
Is that what
Natural
Tim did now?
segue.
sort of in the same frame. Wow. Hang on.
That's zoomed in though, right?
That is life size.
Oh my
actual
gosh!
size.
Is that
He
the-
goes.
is that
I
the
mean,
scale?
if you look on this screen, it's like easily the size of the palm of my hand. That's a big
the size of
mosquito.
Michigan.
Hold on. That says the unofficial state bird of Arkansas is the mosquito. Am I reading
It's true.
that right?
That's what it says.
Unofficial state. Oh wow. So you were right. It's like a hummingbird.
I mean, they're enormous.
Yikes.
Mosquitoes
Okay. All right.
are
I'm
as
nervous.
much a part of Arkansas outdoor summertime activity as heat and humidity.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I don't think we have to
Thank
do a
you,
live episode from Arkansas.
ArkansasLivingMagazine.com.
Believe you can miss it. Johnny B, speak your truth.
Here's my truth.
Speak
Number
your
one, I'm shook by that. I'm shook, but hashtag shook. I can't do it now. So I used to travel a lot. So road trips for me are like coming home. It's a country song, right? But I remember we were on this tour and we had just purchased a secondhand Prevost bus, kind of like a Greyhound, right?
Yeah.
So it had a bathroom on there, right? But it was kind of this unspoken rule
Yeah,
that
no
you don't
number
use
two.
it, right? No number twos,
Yep.
and it's got to be an emergency, right? So one night we were traveling. I don't know where we were headed, but the horror part of this story, the horror. This is a good storyline for Vengeance too. But we broke down in West Virginia, and here's why: the commode, the toilet in this bathroom of the bus, fell out of the bottom. So we're literally dragging a toilet down the interstate
Like
that
in
has
a church service, just fell
unattached
out.
itself.
It fell out.
So it just fell out. The bottom fell out.
That's so good.
Yeah. So here it gets worse. We had to pack up all of our
gets worse.
stuff and walk at least a mile, which we're unsure what a mile is, honestly. But we walked at least a mile to the next exit with all of our stuff down the interstate in West Virginia. I think we were in Parkersburg. Which
Shout out Parkersburg.
Dustin is
Just
trying
hilly.
so hard.
All
to
of West
keep it
Virginia's
together.
hilly.
it was uphill in the middle of the night,
Lovely.
and so we ended up having to get a hotel, and it was just this whole thing.
Wow.
But yeah.
We did a road trip to Dallas, Texas from South Carolina. We decided it was going to be a good time. We had like 12.
That's like 20 all the way.
Yeah, it was a good time. We did 12 of us, I think, that went, 3 cars. And this is before
convoy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they
This
call
is
it.
before
Caravan.
GPSs were
You know-
really like
You know what a convoy is?
yeah, like a bunch of cars. coming together.
MapQuest.
I'm just going to assume you don't know anything.
Thank
I'm
you so
saying.
much. Yeah. That's good. So convoy of us, just for the sake of conversation.
Take a car, just take a beep beep.
We took a beep. What's the thing in the center of the horn? What's the deal
center
with
of
the
the
center of the horn?
If it's not geography, I'm feeling pretty good about
Is that
it.
just a womp womp? Yeah, yeah. I think I'm doing
It
okay.
feels like a geography thing.
little guy
No, it's
inside
okay.
of it just goes,
It's when
ow,
you-
ow, every time every time you hit it, he goes, ow, ow.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Take this off the screen. It's really
Is it
freaky.
freaking
Yeah.
you? Is it freaking you?
There are so many questions that I have. Like, are mosquitoes a problem in Arkansas? Obviously. So, anyways, we decided to go. So we print out the MapQuest. You guys remember MapQuest back in the day?
yeah.
We
Ooh,
print out
yeah.
the
Shout
MapQuest.
out
That's how they
Snap
discovered the
West.
West
Cut
Coast.
it out.
Lewis and
Yeah.
Clark.
That's
It's about a 20
pre-Tom Tom.
Pre-Tom Tom, and it's about a 20-hour drive. And so we get in the car, and we're in Greenville, South Carolina. at
Tom
the time.
Tom, it was this big. You said this thing in your dashboard.
So we hop in the car. We start driving. We get to Atlanta, and we see on MapQuest you're supposed to jump on Interstate
20.
20. All right.
Love it.
Now you guys know how geographically challenged.
There it is.
I found it. Geographically challenged I am. Here's the
You
tell
did
sign.
not turn around and go back to South Carolina.
I didn't. We got off. Are you guys familiar what exit?
Close.
Do you,
Took 285 all the way around
no.
and then
No.
slung
Are you
shot
guys,
right
are you guys
back.
familiar what exit Lawrenceville? Do you know
Kids
what
are home.
Yeah.
what the number Lawrenceville has on it? It's a little white sign on it that says the number 20.
20.
Like it's Route 20, or like
Oh.
highway, like State 20.
okay.
Yep.
We got off on that.
Yep.
We're driving, and I'm
Yeah.
going, boy, this feels wrong.
Yeah.
I can't.
Hashtag this feels wrong.
This
Yeah.
feels wrong
Yeah.
is as a common road trip.
It's so bad.
Is a common road trip saying for
And I'm
everybody,
going-
for everybody, not just Chris. I'm gonna put
The
myself
thing,
in that
the
too.
thing
This
with
isn't,
MapQuest,
this isn't right.
Yeah, the thing with MapQuest is that it has pictures. You know, it has
Right.
pictures to tell you like this is what the road sign is supposed to look like. And I'm going, guys, like this one's blue, and what we're following is a bunch of white 20s,
Which we now know
Killing
as
it
an
on the
interstate
colors.
yeah.
Killing it on
versus
the
a
colors.
route
A
or
route,
a route.
a route. Depending on how you, so anyways, we turned around. We got on 20. We had a good time. We stopped at a really sketchy place in, I want to say, what is Louisiana? Maybe. I don't
the
remember
Louisiana
states.
Purchase.
I don't remember the
Shout out
states we
France.
hit on the way through, but I feel like that sounds right.
Yeah, you
We did Alabama. I remember Alabama.
You went
Okay.
through Louisiana.
Louisiana, yep.
Yeah.
And then you think you're crushing it because you get to Texas real fast, like,
Yeah.
and then you hit Texas exit 1,
Yeah.
and it just goes, and you're like, this is miserable. So you drive through all of East Texas, which is really pretty and grassy and all the things. And we stopped in Dallas. That was our stopping point. We had a house. A buddy of ours had put us up in, and so we stayed there with an older gentleman. Shout out Dallas, Texas, and
Love Dallas.
we drove to Fort Worth.
What?
Yeah,
We stayed with an older gentleman.
all 12 of us. Yeah.
Like, did you know this older gentleman?
Nope, never met him before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did that once.
Yeah.
It's another
He
episode.
had a house big enough for
It's
all
like
of us.
Airbnb before Airbnb. What's happening here?
Yeah, maybe it was like if you said I have a friend in Dallas you can stay with.
Yes.
That's what it was. But it was just an
Oh,
older.
okay, so it was a friend
gentleman.
of a friend.
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Yeah,
our
I've heard of
friend
that- I've heard of that
recommended
phrase.
this older
Heard of that
gentleman.
phrase? I've heard of that.
Friend of a friend.
So we did Dallas that week. We did Fort Worth that week.
Love
we
it.
did Waco
Stockyards.
that week. Stockyards is so good. I got the
Yes.
big yellow
hat.
cowboy hat. So good. Rode the bull. Did all the things.
Oh, so good.
We drove down. We hit. We were gonna do Schlitterbahn, which is the, I believe, largest water park in America, if I'm
You
not
just
mistaken.
cursed
Yeah.
at us in German.
I think it is a curse word in German.
what
We did that.
Schlitterbahn is.
We were going to do that. We skipped that. Ended up in San Antonio. Did the Alamo.
Love it.
Had a good
It's
time
just
there.
at the Alamo. I love
remember
the
that?
Alamo.
I did not remember the Alamo until I got
Do
there.
you know why? They say they remember the Alamo? It's not because they won. It's because
No, they
they
100%
lost.
lost.
They lost.
Hashtag vengeance.
Speak-
Hashtag
You learned that in
Yes,
vengeance?
I did.
Hashtag vengeance.
You just we're quoting vengeance a lot today. I don't even know. I feel like I'm making a
100%.
sign I shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, hell, Texas.
He goes, do you realize? God, I can't.
And Johnny goes, "No, I did not."
I should not be the smartest person on this
Yeah.
show, y'all. This is
you
not
got
right.
you got a computer in front of you. Shout out Apple.
I'm not even looking it up.
Let me tell you the thing that I did not know until I did this trip to Texas was where my favorite ice cream and yours is. What's your favorite ice cream?
Ron's.
Favorite ice cream?
Yeah, like
a
brand. If you're gonna
flavor
go to the
or a
store,
brand?
Bluebell.
go to Bluebell.
Bluebell, yeah.
Bluebell is located directly between
More of a
San
more of a
Antonio
Tillamook guy right now, to be
and
honest with you.
Houston. Is where that is. That's where like their HQ is.
Yeah.
So the goal of the trip was to do Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, San Antonio, and then come across, hit up Bluebell on the way to watch Roger Clemens pitch in his last game in
Wow.
Houston,
Okay.
and then
So
come back
good.
up. But we really fell in love with the Riverwalk and all that in
good.
San Antonio, and we stayed. And
love San
we never
Antonio.
did. We never did any of it. We just drove home.
What I'm hearing is we all need to go to the Bluebell
I'm in.
factory.
We have a friend of ours that works.
Roger
for
won't
Bluebell.
be pitching.
Was it the old
but
guy you stayed with?
That's true.
What's that?
The old guy
No.
you stayed with?
No.
No, we stayed at a hotel in San Antonio. It was not as fun.
Yeah, no, this guy works.
We had 2 hotel rooms. We
construction.
shoved as many as we could in the rooms. They didn't ask. We didn't tell. And
you go.
we just got
Story
a
of
girls'
my
room and a
life.
boys' room. We all crashed on the floor, whatever else. Came home.
Only time I've been to Houston. Buddy of mine and his family out there. We went and we saw old Roger Clemens pitch against old Greg Maddux.
Oh, man.
Head
Greg.
to head.
Wow.
Greg.
I was a
You just
huge
brought
Greg
the Atlanta
Maddux
boys
fan.
back in. They were
Man.
out.
I was
They
a
were
huge
gone.
Maddux fan.
I was still
Greg.
laughing at something
Man,
he said.
it was
but then you said
unbelievable.
Greg Maddux,
Yep.
and I
It
go,
was
hey.
Yeah. I'm
It was
into it.
Tom
incredible.
I say
Glavine.
Tom
You know-
Glavine would have been the only one that I had to like take a minute.
It was around
Tom Glavine.
2003. if
Was
I'm
it?
honest. It
2003
was right
a
around
big year for us.
2003.
Big year
Gosh,
for
banner years.
Banner
2003.
year. I don't remember. I don't know what my banner year was. Like, I'm trying to think about.
I never knew it was 2003,
What-
but
what
clearly
was it?
it might be.
Clearly, 03 is a
Yeah.
big year for you.
was
yeah.
06.
I'd probably say 2010 for me if I had to guess. I got
06.
married, met a couple celebrity heroes of mine. Got to sit
Yeah.
in the room with them. It was a big year for us.
2012. I'm gonna go with 2012.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go
Lots of
06.
reasons.
2011, got divorced, lost my job. Okay.
tough year. All right.
We're having a good time.
I don't even know where. How far along are we in this
I don't
thing?
know. So I tell you, we are just over an hour in.
Oh, okay, good. We're still
Oh
good.
man,
I'm just I'm starting to slow down a little bit.
Well, let me just.
Just get to whatever she's
Yeah.
getting.
By the way, I just want to claim being the first person to effectively just shut down conversation.
You did. You did that.
if we're gonna go there,
Yeah.
the reason 2012 as it was
That's
up
not.
and down. But you know what? It's the downs that
High
get you
highs
back
and
up.
low
There you go, baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
LA.
Come on, Johnny B.
How do you know you're happy if you ain't never sad?
Come on, Johnny B.
Hey, won't he do it?
I feel like
You learn
you
more
To the
about
tune
it.
of?
Fail forward. That's what I say.
Just felt like it should be a song.
There is. It isn't a song. It's y'all wouldn't know it. I'm not gonna even try.
Is it like a Garth Brooks song?
Is it Taylor
He's
Swift?
assessed our intelligence to this point.
No, it's in an old song. But I don't know. Are y'all familiar with the genre of beach music?
Like the Boys, Beach Boys.
No,
Beach Boys.
That's not beach
Boy band.
Boy band.
Yes.
That
Boy
is-
band caught it.
Now that's a boy band.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, they all play an instrument.
All boys, all in a band.
Yeah.
So you want to be on the
Beach
episode.
music is an incredibly southeastern thing,
Okay.
specifically between like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. There's a whole
Okay. Yeah.
genre of music.
It's like
and
reggae type style music.
No, it is very. It's like what if doo-wop kept going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I ask myself that question daily.
All the time.
What
That's a
if
t-shirt.
you
That's
Like
a
what
t-shirt
if
right
doo-wop kept going?
Yeah.
What would it have eventually ended up in? It's like doo-wop meets Motown meets soul music, kind of all. And
I can dig that.
Okay.
They have their own dance.
Like okay, like
Like,
by
is it like
dance
the
mean
twerking
like
and the arm
yeah,
fart?
yeah, like that kind of dance.
Call back.
Okay.
Call back.
Yeah, and this is I'm 100%.
Yeah,
I'll
I
pull
think
it
we
up
need
and
to,
show
I need
you.
to see what this is. So you're saying, hold on. So I'm just.
I need to see
So
the
these
dance.
guys decided we're not letting doo-wop die. We're actually going to evolve it. We're going to create our own thing out of it, and this is what became
And why
Yes.
not do it at the beach? Because
beach.
Can I get to this in? Well, here's Wikipedia right here. All right, so beach music, also known as Carolina beach music, right? Lesser extent of beach pop, which is more of like Beach Boys, right? But yeah, their dance it's kind of a shuffle. It's kind of a bluesy shuffle dance, but it's called the shag.
Wait, isn't that like a real dance? Isn't that like a real isn't a shag a dance?
It is. That's where
That's
it
what this is.
But
Can you
it comes
what is
from
it?
this.
What's this thing? What's
It
this?
comes from this.
You see it? Yeah, click on it.
Click on the shag.
no one's looking at Caleb right now.
No, don't look at him. Don't look at
I'm
anybody.
just listening.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just learning.
There's no videos
Yeah.
here.
I'm just learning.
man.
No videos.
There's no
Hold on,
videos
hold
here.
on. Scroll
of
up.
the shag.
Carolina shag
Let's see the technique.
history.
I need
Society
a
of
tutorial,
Cultural references.
personally.
It's gotta be
shag.
like a
So Dustin, do you enjoy
Yeah.
this music or you just know about it?
I grew up on this music. This was what
There's
my
a lot of young cats.
no. This is what my dad grew up listening to. So if you vacationed to like Virginia Beach, North Carolina beaches, Myrtle Beach, if you vacationed there, it was the scene for beach music. In fact, my mom and dad met in Virginia Beach at a beach music club called the Peppermint Lounge.
So they were
love
shagging.
that.
Just to be clear, they were shagging together
In the Peppermint Lounge.
in the Peppermint Lounge, and
love it.
that's how they met.
I love
on
that.
the
That sounds like a Lifetime movie. The Peppermint Lounge would be the
The
title.
Peppermint Lounge. Anyway, what I was
love
getting
that.
to is
Hallmark, maybe
how do you
Hallmark,
know
too.
you're happy being never sad? It's from a beach music song. I don't remember what the song is called, but it's by the band is called General Johnson, and chairman of the board
So you would
is the beach music.
Don't do it.
Yes, I know is the beach music.
Onward and upward. Onward and
Yeah, General Johnson right here,
don't
musician,
get
American
canceled.
songwriter. This is General Johnson right here.
Heyo.
He's from Norfolk, Virginia. Is where he's born. So yeah. Anyway,
Great.
yeah. Anyway, he had a song in there.
He died down here in 2010.
I
Down in Atlanta.
Look at that. I didn't. Yeah, this guy's voice was pretty much the sound of my childhood mixed with Motown because that's the kind of music I grew up on.
Throw
So
some
yeah,
up there, man. Let's see what
frontman
happens.
of the
I
chairman of
wanna-
the
I
board.
wanna look it up.
I don't want to get us flagged, but anyway, it's an extremely it is an acquired taste of music. You listen to it and you're like, I just took a big leap back in time. I tell you, the best description I have of it is what if doo-wop music just kept going, which I have to say it because I brought up the term doo-wop music. Have you seen Fred Armisen's bit on doo-wop music?
I've not.
He said because Fred Armisen is a comedian, but he's also a musician.
Yeah, he's so good.
He says by the natural progression of the way music goes, right? That like heavy metal is just like it's too much and it's too loud, right? When it first came out.
Right.
Rock and roll was too much and too loud when it first came out. He said by that natural progression, at one point in our nation's history, doo-wop music was the most heavy thing out there. That someone would put on a doo-wop record and they would go, nope, this is just too much. This is
Wow.
too loud. And it's
That's
hilarious.
amazing.
Listen, there's a story at a church in Dallas that they were shifting from piano to organ.
Yeah.
If you guys remember that. Well, from organ to piano.
yeah.
And a guy brought in a brand new piano, had it up on stage, and replaced the organ. And the next Sunday, the piano was gone and the organ was back. And the piano was found like in a river down the road because they were so against.
And they took it out.
They were
Lock up your pianos, people.
so against this piano
Wow.
ever entering into a church I mean, obviously now you go into churches and they've got rock bands and all the things that go along with it. But I mean, but at
really
some point,
strange
somebody
people lead worship
brought
in
in a
churches
guitar.
these
Yeah,
days.
think about how much easier it is to destroy a musician's music now than like you had to, I don't know, a grand piano. Like you just have to smash your
Just
guitar.
throw it in the river.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the river.
I guess.
Which
You still wear
I
their
don't think-
laptop and you've ruined worship. You know what I mean?
He looks rough.
tech
Life was not good to him.
This was him back in his prime. This is before.
That was him in his prime.
Yeah.
That was before he did the Greyhound road trip.
That was before he. That was before he got stuck on that.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
What's funny is
Well,
I
now I
don't.
feel like a
What's
jerk,
funny
man.
is I don't
This is
know
high school
any.
senior
I don't know
portrait.
any of these songs.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
That's what I'm like. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh.
That might be somebody else.
I
No,
hope
no,
so.
it's him. It's him.
Oh man, I feel terrible
Oh
now.
my gosh.
Yeah,
well,
his
Carolina
family's
Girls. That was kind of like their biggest hit. Carolina Girls, best in the world.
Can't nobody love me like you.
I can't wait to listen to some of this
Pay
stuff.
to the Piper. That's good.
Hey.
It's very similar to.
It's like Yaz music.
No.
Okay.
No.
So it has like structure
Yeah.
to it. It's not,
yeah.
It's not like
What was the guy's name that sang? Oh, Clarence Carter. You know what song Clarence Carter did called "Strokin"? Do you remember this?
Nope.
It's a real song. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know Clarence Carter?
I got nothing at this point, to be honest. So, is it good music for a road trip? A
road
Clarence,
trip?
Clarence,
If you're going to the
Clarence
beach,
Carter.
sounds like.
Clarence
If you're
Carter
going to
is
the
not
beach,
beach
sounds
music,
like.
but let me just give you a little taste of some Clarence
Sounds like
Carter.
we took a hard.
Less than 30 seconds.
That's Clarence Carter. It only gets better from there. Honestly,
Can we put
honestly,
together a
we
road
all have a
trip
friend named.
playlist, tag it in the
Honestly,
show
we all
notes?
have a friend named Trey, and he looks just like Clarence Carter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And
That's too much.
So every time I see Trey, I think Clarence Carter.
That's too much.
And now we all will too.
And now I
just
can't do
too much.
anything but that puppet.
Too much. It's
Road trip
just-
playlist. We need to
too
put
loud.
it.
Let's do it.
An Instagram story, all the good things.
Yeah, road trip playlist.
Ooh, all right. Well, I don't know how to go from there, so I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
Stroking
I think Clarence Carter's blind.
Oh, he's still on Clarence Carter. Here we're going back to Clarence.
I just want to see. I'm trying to get a photo of him because I think he
Okay.
looks like Trey,
Yeah.
and I want y'all to see it.
Well, go to images. Where are you going?
That.
Where are you going?
Like, why are you scrolling
You
down?
left. There it is.
There he is.
We need Kleenex.
I
for this
mean,
show.
maybe.
This is quintessential Clarence Carter right here.
I don't see that one being
don't
it.
see it.
I was going to go to this one in the
Look at
his
the
bottom
glasses.
left-hand
Ooh,
Can
corner.
buy his glasses.
Apparently, where?
Oh, yeah.
Down here. Down here. This
Yeah,
one?
like that. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's like Trey's dad. We met
Maybe.
Trey's dad. I bet Trey's dad's Clarence Carter.
This whole part's not going to make it in. It
so
doesn't
many
matter.
things I want to say when we
Must
He said
stop.
this whole
confirmed.
part's not going to make it in.
Oh my goodness.
No, fans love it, man. People love it. Hey, shout out your favorite beach music.
Beach music. We had
in the
we had
comments.
Band of Oz. We had the Embers. Clarence. We had General Johnson, chairman of the board. I mean, a lot of.
On
I'm
that-
telling you,
on that note,
it's
can
a
we-
big. It's still a big hit. In fact, the band Alabama, bringing it local for you.
Come on,
Here
baby.
we go.
The band Alabama did a beach music song. They wrote an original beach music song that was a big country hit back in their prime called "Dancing on the Boulevard."
Oh, I know this.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
love that.
that was a shout.
That was the drive.
Everything in that is a shout out to old fashioned beach music.
Yeah,
every venue they name in there is all beach music.
The
venues.
style of the song as well.
The style of the song is
I
very
don't
is
know that I would've-
exactly
I
beach
don't know. I
music.
loved it, but
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's your go-to music on a road trip.
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
No, I do have a beach music playlist.
Yeah,
No,
are you-
I actually have a road trip playlist that I add
Okay.
to constantly,
Yeah.
and it's called "Driving to Nowhere" because I'm extremely. I like deep names for my playlists. I don't like just generic names. I don't just name it after the first song on the playlist. That's rookie mode.
Let's
That's
bring it
cheap.
back in for just a
That's
second.
cheap
On our road trip, what do you listen to music?
Absolutely.
I went on a road trip with a guy from Greenville, South Carolina. I was based out of there for a long time. To Cincinnati, Ohio,
Let's bring it back in.
and he did not want to. He doesn't listen to music in the car. He won't listen to music in the car at all.
Don't
no podcast.
ever travel with him again.
No, I didn't.
I do love a good.
It was a job.
I do love
He
a
paid
good
job
Drop 'em off at
audiobook.
Buc-ee's.
I do love a good audiobook on a road trip too. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
If I'm
Yeah.
alone, podcast
if I'm
I'm
alone,
alone podcast.
yeah.
This
if I'm
one.
with my
Heyo.
kids,
Heyo. Hashtag
it depends on. So Luke is an '80s rock, '90s alternative kind of guy. So
Yeah.
I'll do that with Luke. Corey and Ben, the other two older ones, they're much more into today's whatever awful TikTok.
Here's my beach music playlist right here.
I always.
yeah.
But
You
then,
gotta
I
have
also,
music.
but then I also have the drive.
You have so many playlists.
Then I custom curate all these. This is my driving to nowhere playlist. Amos Lee, Windows Rolled Down. That just gets you going. Free Falling John Mayer. We were just listening to that yesterday.
So
His
good.
cover.
All right, so do you
some
listen
Tom
to
Petty.
these? Is your process? I'm going to listen to these in order, or do you hit the shuffle
I
button?
I'm
start?
always a shuffle guy. I don't build my playlist sequentially.
Yeah.
I just it's a mass dump, and then I hit shuffle. That way, I get a different.
Well, you said the first one, so I didn't know if you meant you went from Windows or rolled down. And
I will hit Windows or roll down, and then hit
It
the
is
shuffle
nice
button.
to have a starter,
It is-
and then you shuffle.
That's
I'm
the
with you.
starter.
You know what your starting point is.
Yes.
The rest of it, I
Yep.
want it to
Windows
be
or
I
roll
like this
down puts me
podcast.
in the
Yeah.
mood
Yeah,
to
I
take
think
a
it's
roll.
fun. You have no idea where it's going at the end of it all.
Number
It's a lot of
nine.
shuffle.
I think this is number 9.
Living on a prayer would be our kickoff, and then we go from there. Then roll it, baby.
Somehow, I always
Halfway home.
I always find room on every road trip.
Halfway there.
Halfway there.
Do it.
To I always pull up
halfway home.
the beautiful
there is.
the beautiful letdown by Switchfoot.
Oh,
that
yeah.
album,
That album
the
is
whole
great.
album. If it's a road trip over 3 hours, that
it.
album will be played
It's a great
in
album.
full. At least once. I don't know what it is. It's just that, I mean,
So
you're just
good.
there.
Carolina
There's
Heart.
not a
Long
skip
White
song.
Line, Sturgill
There's
Simpson.
not a skip song on the whole record, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So,
Dustin,
yeah.
you know what I listen to on a road trip. What album do you think I drop into my playlist?
Rocket Summer.
Come on.
That's one of them. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was really hoping you would say the other one,
Bryce.
which is Hamilton. Hamilton's a nice 3-hour
Oh,
listen as well.
Yeah.
Ooh,
3 hour
nice.
from beginning to end, Act 1, Act 2. I do that, but Rocket Summer is typically mine. It's
absolutely.
my
Check this
go-to
out.
driving
Look at
music.
this one right here.
100%.
Shout out Bryce.
Look at this one.
Shout out.
This one is from the movie Duet. Y'all ever seen that movie?
That is
Yes.
a great
This is
song.
Huey Lewis and
Huey Lewis.
Gwyneth Paltrow singing "Cruising."
May or may not have
Gotta
been my
have that on your,
karaoke.
gotta have that
I
on
mean,
your record
today.
playlist.
Is
I
there
can
a
see
better
that.
duo
good.
I could see
in
that.
the world? I don't know.
Look at
Gwyneth-
that.
I always think of Gwyneth. She was in Avengers, right? She was the girl in Avengers.
Avengers, yeah, she's Pepper.
Avengers.
Pepper.
That's
Pepper.
Shakespeare
Pepper Potts?
in Shakespeare in Love was her
Yep.
Oscar win, I believe.
Yep, she was in
1998.
Shallow Hal, which is a sleeper hit.
I love
Sleeper,
Shallow Hal.
absolute
Love Shallow
sleeper
Hal.
hit.
I love Shallow.
Besides
I love
this
all
movie
things-
Duet,
Jack Black,
I'm
right? Is it
mostly-
Jack Black?
Yes.
Yeah, I love.
Besides
Jack
the
Black.
movie Duets, I mostly known her as she was married to Chris Martin for a minute. That's
Really?
about it.
And she had a kid
Is he
named
related to
Apple.
Ricky
Let's be
Martin?
honest.
She had a,
My-
she had
She had a kid named Apple.
with Chris Martin.
With Chris Martin, exactly.
Yeah. Close relative of Ricky. So I love.
Different country.
What's that now?
Different country.
Is it?
Can you imagine though if they collabed?
Ricky Martin and Chris Martin.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd buy that album.
Sure.
Let's make it happen.
I'd be in.
I bet they have some.
Live from
Yeah,
Texas.
Caleb. So you said you're a podcast
100%.
guy in the car. You already said you're.
I'm by myself. I let the kids kind of drive the other,
Yeah.
the good stuff. So.
Yeah. I'm into it. All right.
Need to breathe, drive all night. Come on.
Ooh, that's good.
Did you just Google songs that have words about driving in it, and that's how you put this
Wait,
together?
is that the Celine Dion
it
"I
just-
Drove All
it-
Night"
it just hits me.
commercial from?
Oh no,
about
drive all night.
2003?
Need to breathe is faster. I don't drive all night.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it gets going.
I'm looking at this
Drive,
going, I don't know what any of these
Drive from Ben Rector, so good. You never heard "Call Me the Breeze" from Leonard Skinner? Come on, that's on there.
once.
That's
I
like
don't-
truck.
who
That's like
is
truck driving
Leonard
song.
Skinner?
All right, we're
Fun
done.
fact.
We're done. Wrap it up if he doesn't know. who
I'll
Leonard
say
Skinner
this
is.
just
We're
because
done.
it's on brand. I did this bucket list,
Pronounce it
playlist,
Leonard Skinner.
road trip, all of it right here. This is where it all comes together. Okay.
Yeah, let's bring
Come
it.
on.
I drove across the Golden Gate Bridge with the windows down.
Listen to the Full House theme song.
Listening
Do
to
it.
the Full House
Do it.
theme song.
Do it.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Let's go.
It was
good.
gonna be your whole
That's it.
childhood came to conclusion.
So
right
There's
amazing.
nothing else we can say to top
We can't
that.
top
Wrap
that.
it
We're
up.
done.
Well, that was a good time, guys. That is the ultimate road trip. And if you don't know what Full House is, to all our younger listeners, let's encourage you, head on.
It's the prequel to Fuller House, which
Yeah.
is what you
How's
call
it
it.
end? The ba-da-bum, ba-da.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Tom drum.
Tom drum.
Tom drum.
Hashtag Tom drum.
Hashtag Tom drum.
Forever.
Yes, throwback.
Jesse.
Episode 2.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, we'll do a whole Full House episode. I love a good Full House.
I think John Stamos is from Texas.
Jason Slater is
No, he's
also
not.
aged well.
I
He
really
looks
listen.
exactly the
Doesn't
same.
he?
Exact.
Yeah.
Mario Lopez looks
Yeah,
exactly
Mario
the
Lopez.
same.
He
Mario,
crushed
please.
aging.
What's your secret?
I'll tell you
Mario?
what though, Bob Saget rip. Bob Saget, I fell in love with him on the show. He's dead,
No,
right?
yes, but yeah.
He
on
was
the show.
so
and,
good on the show, and then I was like, oh look, he's also a stand-up comedian.
A little
And that's
different
where it
taste.
went
that
wrong.
went way different.
A little different. A little
mean,
pivot. There's a little
Yeah,
pivot.
it's a-
Hard
it's
pivot
a
the other
little,
direction.
It's a little bit of a turn.
Talented dude.
But anyways,
Rip indeed.
I loved it. I loved it. There's old Mario. He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, here you go. Then and now. Check this out.
Is his skincare routine?
Look, he looks
anywhere
exactly the
online?
same. Look at
I
this.
mean,
If
like-
anything, he looks younger, which is
Yeah,
insane.
he looks better now.
wow.
He looks better
It's
now.
the dimples for me.
Wow.
Exactly the same.
Man Crush Monday.
This
but it's
has
Friday
been
or
a-
Thursday, whatever day.
a
They got
remarkable last 12
Travolta up there
minutes.
too, and that does not look the same. You see that down the bottom right?
We are
Travolta.
we are
Travolta
road
down there at
tripping
the bottom
somewhere.
right-hand
That-
corner.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
no.
like that.
He-
No.
Oh,
He is the premier image.
In
of not-
fairness,
not doing
both
it.
look like vampires.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Did you know that
Episode,
the dimple
Celebrity
chin
Vampire.
is a dominant gene?
Who is?
The dimple chin, the dominant gene. Not
Oh,
a
I thought you were
recessive.
talking about unibrow.
Anybody else sneakily enjoy, low-key love Face Off with him and Nicolas Cage? From
I
the
love
last
Face
I
Off.
like the Face
Come on,
Off's
baby.
good. Face Off's good.
I love most Nicolas Cage.
I'm gonna watch it on my
That's
next
the
road
most
trip.
ridiculous
pleasure.
premise of
Yeah.
a movie, and that's why I love it so much.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take your face. I'm gonna swap it with his face.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible.
It's kind of like
So
Freaky
dumb.
Friday.
Oh
really.
yeah.
Shout out Lindsay Lohan.
Incredible.
I think they cut our audio about.
What's the one with Tom?
memories.
Not Tom Cruise. It is Tom Cruise, right? Where they get the eye thing done. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're talking about Minority Report?
Minority Report.
That's a good movie.
That's
Minority-
Tom Cruise,
Spielberg.
right?
That's
Minority,
Spielberg.
Minority Report is so good.
2005, not 3.
Oh man, if you would have said 03, that'd have been.
I bet you they filmed it in 03 though.
I bet they
If
filmed
it
it
was,
in
if
03.
it
I might be
was
Yeah.
wrong.
05.
I'm usually closest on movies.
Yeah. Best movie of 03.
Come on, baby.
13. Wow, that can't
Whoa.
be right.
Holes. Holes is so good. Shia LaBeouf, man. What a guy. What a
Big
guy.
Fish.
I don't.
How to Lose a
Fish.
Guy in 10 Days.
So good.
Wow.
Wow. 03 really was
What's
something,
that second?
something
What's that
special.
second one?
This one?
Yeah. What's
Oh,
Secondhand Lions.
Secondhand Lions.
I don't know what.
Oh, so good.
Not a great movie.
Here we go. The best films of 2003.
2003,
Let's go.
Return of the King
Old
won Best
Boy.
Picture. Those are the Lord of the Rings. That was the Lord of the Rings era.
Oh boy.
1, 2, 3.
Memories of a Murder. Dog. Oh, that's a bad year.
Yeah, those are some weird movies.
that? Wow.
That's weird.
These
Love
are the,
Actually. I know that one.
That is a good
Oh,
movie.
it's a great
I
movie.
think you're on the wrong side.
But if you've never watched Holes,
This is
IMDb.
IMDb. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
All right,
I don't
Ro-
trust it. Lord of the
Lord
Rings.
of the Rings. Now number 16. Is that what that is?
I don't. This might be like when it came out, like as they were released throughout the year. I don't know if that's like ratings.
Mystic River. That's another good one.
It could also be like critics.
21
Ravers.
grams.
Mystic. Have you guys seen Mystic River?
It's a good
No.
one.
Incredible movie.
It's a good movie.
Really good movie.
wow.
Seabiscuit.
And,
All,
we're back to movies and food. Like
Cold
our
Mountain.
thing.
Wow.
Cold Mountain, interesting. Got a little weird at one point.
Got a little weird.
Got a little weird.
Why don't Nicole
All these
Kidman
are
that
available
year?
on DVD for
Well,
your next
I'm
road
getting
trip.
busy.
Finding
So,
Nemo.
go away.
There. Oh,
Oh,
Finding
Kill
Nemo
Bill.
came out
Okay,
in
hold on.
03.
Finding Nemo.
Oh,
Top 3 animated movies all time.
100%.
Really?
100%.
100%.
Well, future episode.
Kill Bill Volume
Yeah,
1.
we do need to talk animated movies because
talk
I
about-
have some strong feelings about
Yeah, you
animated
do.
movies.
There's some good stuff and
Yeah.
some.
Well, I feel
Not
like we
so good
crushed
stuff.
this episode. Nice job on the road trip.
Wow.
We really got there. This whole thing was
Did we
a
talk
road
about
trip.
road trips?
You know
We
what
did at one
happens
point.
though. You know what happens though. Can I just bring it full circle for a second?
Do
When
it.
you're on a road trip, you
This
talk,
is what
this,
happens.
This is what
This
happens.
was a road trip.
You
This was a
talk
road trip.
about all the random
Yeah.
stuff.
All the things.
Yeah.
And,
Road
and
trip
my wife and I will
to
look
nowhere.
up. We'll look up stuff. Driving to nowhere.
Driving to nowhere.
baby.
We have a great episode next week for you guys on air trips.
Air trips, which I can't wait to tell you how the title of that one came about.
I can't either.
I have a whole thing I'm gonna say for that.
It's gonna be a good time.
excited.
We all love a good air trip, so we're gonna talk about those next week. Got anything funny going on this weekend? Anything fun we can shout out?
I don't know when this is dropping. I can't remember.
This will come out on the 21st.
21st. Do I have anything fun going on that weekend?
Yeah. I was trying to give you just a chance to shout
My
out.
in-laws are coming
your-
into town, and I'm super
I was trying to
excited
give you a
about it.
shout out to your sweatshirt that you have not addressed yet in this room.
Oh yeah, well by this point in time, the Daytona 500. By the time this drops, Daytona 500 2023 season has already happened, and I just assume that Denny Hamlin won again for the fourth
Congratulations.
time. So shout out,
Congratulations, Denny Hamlin.
my boy Denny
A
Hamlin.
big
ha-
fan of the
23
podcast.
has his own
gonna make those
podcast
t-shirts.
this year. He just launched called Actions Detrimental. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
And so my plans for the weekend for the next several months is watching NASCAR because that's what I do.
NASCAR.
I'm a
Welcome to
fan.
NASCAR season,
I'll
y'all.
probably be at Catch Air.
Love it.
On twerking duty.
On twerking duty.
For us.
Yeah, making sure your
Going, hey,
6-year-old
hey,
daughter
hey,
ain't doing that. Yeah, that's a good time.
There's no
I'm
twerking
here,
in
I'm here
Texas.
this weekend,
Nice.
speaking this weekend, and prepping for 6 more talks over the next couple weeks.
No, this comes out on the 21st. He's
Oh,
speaking.
you're speaking this weekend. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming up. Yeah,
yeah, you're speaking this weekend.
Yeah,
that's
he's
right. You
speaking.
took my spot, man.
that's right.
That's
the plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah, slowly but surely, just
Slowly
kicking
but
me
surely.
out.
Inch by inch.
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
end
not
this
doing
thing
anything
right.
this
Number
weekend.
10.
And yeah, I guess I'm kind of
Number
bored.
10.
Yeah, doing a big event. Doing a big event the first weekend of March with Johnny B.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rocking out a big event
It's going to
together.
be good. It's
Yep.
gonna, I'm so blessed.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
little,
And
Easter
then,
egg there.
but yeah, that's the following episode. So we're having a good time here.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, great job on road trips, fellas. Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, that was loud.
That's
Louder
a
than I
ring
needed it to be.
right
Yeah,
there.
that's a man's
Wow.
ring. I'm going to take it off for next episode. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. We're excited you guys are here. We love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see y'all next week on the Bingeworthy podcast. That one looks good.